A poignant moment at Roots Hall as players, staff and fans of Southend United and Carlisle United, along with representatives of the armed forces, remember, football will always remember those who have given their lives in conflicts past and present so that we may live ours in peace. And we are ready to get this game started. Paul Clark, former Blues player and manager, a huge game it is. It feels like, even though it's early November.
Yeah, just before we come on that, what a beautiful thing to hear. 8,000 people in total silence, paying respect. Well done, everybody. Those that took part and those that obeyed it. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, it seems silly this early in the season to be talking about big games, but obviously it's a huge game for Carlisle as well. They've got aspirations to go to the top, but Southend want to prove that they can compete with these big sides. They've got a proud run over the last month or so, but as we alluded to, it was a nice run of games for them. Guess what? That stops today.
It looked like a really tough month with facing Carlisle, Rochdale and Forest Green, as well as a trip to Yeovil Town, and of course Altrincham coming to Roots Hall. It looked tough then. Of course that game against Rochdale has been moved. That's December, and we get started with Carlisle kicking off. They're playing in their blue, red and white striped shirts, kicking from right to left. Southend in their dark blue shirts and shorts with the white socks, playing from left to right. There's not been a change of ends for them as there was in the Brackley Town game. Teams have liked to do. And let me just remind you quickly of how these teams line up. Hayes in goal for Southend, Taylor, Goodliff and Captain Ralph in the back three, Scott Morris on the right, Boys on the left, Miley in front of the defence, Coker and Austin in front of him, with Dallas and Walker leading the line. A ball is looped forward for Dallas to chase, but he gets quickly shut out by the Cumbrians defence, who is made up of Breeze in goal. The back four of Williams, Hayden, Feeney on the right side of the centre-back pairing, Hayden on the left, Harper at left-back. Two City midfielders in Gilead on the left side of it, nearest to us, McAdam on the right, Luamba's on the right side, Conclark in the middle, Linney on the left, and up front, Kelly. And we are just over a minute in, and Carlisle already putting pressure on in the final third. Here's Linney against Scott Morris, one of the battles we expected to see. But Scott Morris coming out on top of that one, left edge of the penalty area. Meanwhile, ball played quickly out of the defence. A big tackle won by the Carlisle captain, but Southend able to come away through Ralph. They fans thought that Luamba had pulled him back, but Carlisle able to come back, and the referee has now given a foul in favour of Southend. Paul, a lot of things happening there, but the Cumbrians get the free kick in the final third.
Yeah, Cav Miley did really well in the first place, then a sloppy pass gave it away. Then, as you say, there was a couple of instances with people coming in from behind and just towing the ball away, and then essentially playing the player after, and the referee was quite content to let that one go. But then that time, as couldn't see it, it might have been Cav Miley, not entirely sure, slid in, just caught the player behind, and it's a good shooting distance for someone like Con Clark.
Yeah, Con Clark, who joined in October on loan from Peterborough United, scored a brace in the FA Cup fourth qualifying round, 5-2 win over Boston United, looking for his first league goal on his loan spell, currently until January, but a man who knows all about scoring in the National League. National League Player of the Year a couple of seasons ago. Con Clark standing over this one. He will shoot with the right foot, try and spin it into the middle, but it's straight down the throat of Nick Hayes, looking for consecutive home clean sheets for the first time since April. Not much to threaten him on that occasion. Meanwhile, it's played very quickly by Southend, trying to get it straight onto the boot of Austin. You could see what he was doing, Paul, trying to get it first time into the path of Dallas. Just didn't quite have the quality on that occasion, but it's still a throw-in for Southend inside Carlisle's half.
No, it was brilliant. Yeah, the shot from Con Clark was straight at Hayes, and he picked it up, run to the edge of the box, and threw it out wide for Austin. And as you say, Dallas looking to make the run. All he wants to do is get it beyond that defender with that first touch. Unfortunately, managed to knock it straight at the defender, but they've won this throw-in chance for Gus Scott Morris to sling it in.
Scott Morris to throw it from the left wing far side. He'll loop it towards the edge of the 6-yard box. The looping header is picked up by the defender Scott Morris, hitting the cross back into the middle from left to right, just in front of Ollie Coker, who was making a late run towards the right side of the 6-yard box. Ball bounces over the byline in front of the Carlisle United fans. Goal kick for Southend. And while this is being taken, Paul, you said it there, 8,000 fans commemorating remembrance in silence. You can hear them right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good ball in from Gus Scott Morris, and credit to Gilead. He'd tracked his man back there and made sure that he wouldn't get a free run round at the back post. It was good defensive play, and they were able to just see it out for the goal kick in the end.
The kick from Breeze, straight down the middle onto the head of Southend's captain Nathan Ralph. Walker brings it under control but can't get Coker involved. Carlisle turn it over.
Good turn.
Con Clark turning away from Miley, who sense that's another key battle today.
Brilliant.
Straight to the feet of Luamba, but he just wasn't quite ahead of the ball, so he has to run to the byline to pick it up. Luamba back to McAdam. And this is where Carlisle can be dangerous. They want to move the ball. Con Clark running around Coker, but a big tackle from Nathan Ralph stops him in his tracks, and Coker wants to send this high down the middle, looking for Walker, who gets it back to Dallas, and he can get on the tackle, trying to get around the Carlisle captain in Feeney. He goes down, and amid the protestations of over 8,000 Southend United fans, Dallas going down under the pressure of Feeney and winning the first free kick of the game for Southend, 5 metres away from the left wing far side, 4.5 minutes in, 0-0.
Yeah, it was turned into a foot race between the two of them, and I think Feeney was complaining that Dallas had hold of his shirt as they was racing, so he tried to out-strengthen Dallas, but then pushed him to the ground. And it's a great opportunity for Blues from that wide left position. All about the quality of the delivery, which I think is fair to say over the last couple of games has been a little disappointing.
Yeah, Harry Boyes had gone on a run of about 4 assists in his last 3 games in October. They're looking to get back to that run. Has won against Carlisle United before during his Wycombe Wanderers loan a couple of years ago. Meanwhile, he's standing over this free kick. It's about 25 yards from the byline. He's got plenty of options in front of him. Harry Taylor, the only one not near the edge of the penalty area. Miley being called back, but meanwhile Boyes whips this one in. It's met by the goalkeeper Gabriel Breeze, wearing all pink, and he was very confident he took that one. Second most clean sheets in the league for him.
Good goalkeeping, to be fair. Wasn't the worst ball in the world, but wasn't enough challenges on the goalkeeper, and he come and took it clean as a whistle.
Meanwhile, Southend have won possession back inside Carlisle's half. Austin trying to get down the left wing, but he was well trapped by Josh Williams, the right back for Carlisle, coming back into the starting 11. His clearance though doesn't make its way out, and this is a throw in for Southend, and Kevin Mayer and Darren Curry straight out the edge of their technical area.
Interesting that they've not sent Gus Scott Morris over that side again. It's the same place for the last time, but just trying to mix it up.
Maybe the run Coker made, they can tell that maybe there's an option for a late run on that far side, as Miley whips this ball into the middle. Walker climbing for it. He was in an offside position and couldn't guide the header on target, looping over the crossbar. And an offside against Southend United. Restart for Carlisle in their own penalty box, 0-0 after 6 minutes.
Yeah, but it was nice play. They took the throw in short, got it back to the thrower, decent cross in, and just mistimed his run a little bit, Josh Walker. But you don't mind that from forwards in and around that area, because you've only got to get it right once. It was marginable, and as I say, just went the wrong side, just went a little bit early, but ultimately didn't get the header on target anyway.
Josh Walker looking for his first home goal since the end of January in the win against Fylde, and now an offside flag going up against Carlisle, and that ball is right on the edge of the centre circle.
From a goal kick?
I think so.
Can you be offside from a goal kick?
We'll have to see if we can get some refereeing consultation. Meanwhile, Hayes with the restart as he goes from left to right towards the right corner in front of the North Bank, which is packed out with Carlisle United supporters, making a 326-mile journey from the northwest, the furthest any team will have to travel to Southend United this season. You're listening to us on BBC Essex on all frequencies. Me, Warren Muggleton, and former Blues player and manager Paul Clark. I can see some fireworks going off behind the North Bank. I'm hoping for a firecracker of a game in the National League here on BBC Essex. Probably heard a few of those bangs during the remembrance silence as well. Well, Southend have played it back to their keeper Hayes, who will attempt the long ball again, straight onto the head of the defender Terrell Thomas, or Aaron Hayden. Terrell Thomas was the one he replaced, having picked up an injury 7 minutes into the game against FC Halifax Town. Throw for Southend on the right wing near side. Scott Morris to take it. The Blues fans turning up in numbers. Southend looking to break their National League attendance record set at the end of last season, 9,677 against Wealdstone. I remember that game, Paul.
Got to do better there, Josh Walker. He's gone down the line for the throw-in. Furthest man forward, and all he does is flicks it on. It's simple for the defender to pick it up, and Carlisle disappointed that all the defender could do was lump it out for another throw-in.
Scott Morris, I think he wants people to get into the penalty area for this one. He's calling for them to go forward, but the defenders haven't. They're not making any moves. He decides to go down the right wing, near side, to Dallas. His attempted pass back comes off the boot of Linney.
Now they will.
And here comes Ben Goodliffe, back into the side. Scott Morris decides to go short again to Austin, who's going on the byline. Scott Morris gets it back to whip the cross in, comes off the back of the Carlisle defender, Carter. Harper, I should say Cameron Harper, the number 3 for Carlisle.
Yeah, Kelly's got to get the ump with Goodliffe, keep going up for these throw-ins and corners, because he has to go back with him every time.
Dallas has worked this to Coker, whose cross takes a little deflection, it comes off of Boys, but then it's cleared away by Carlisle United, only as far as the head of Taylor, who's inside the Cumbrians' half. His foot ahead of Falls to Kelly, puts it straight out of his feet into Luamba, who's running at pace down that right wing. Boys trying to keep up with him to support Bridge. The shot is attempted from well inside the penalty area, nowhere near the goal, goes to the right side of the goal, and it'll be a goal kick for Southend, 0-0.
Great play from Kelly in the first place, but 30 yards out from his own goal.
This is what we saw in the warm-up, wasn't it?
Yeah, a little
first
pass
time
outside
passes
of the foot, yeah. And they were all disappointed in Luamba's choice when he got there. He never really had it in a position to get the shot on goal, but it's just showed how quickly they can break.
Junior Luamba playing his first game of his career against Southend United. Josh Walker's got a header forward. Dallas is trying to get in the way of this one. Barges into the back of Aaron Hayden, who was getting there to guard Gabriel Breeze as his clearance came in. But it is another throw in for Southend. We go full circle as they throw down this right wing near side to Walker, right edge of the penalty area. Tries to go back to Scott Morris, but intercepted by Linney. Another throw in for Southend, and Paul, we feel like this is the kind of possession that Southend need to capitalise on.
Yeah, very much so. This is early chances, because you figure this is what Carlisle will have talked about. The Southend will get a bright start for 20 minutes. We can kill that off. We know we can then get at them. So it's vital that Southend capitalise on it.
Carlisle certainly not impenetrable by any stretch. 11 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses this season. Scott Morris's looping throw is met by the head of Kelly, who's doing a lot more defensive work for the Cumbrians at the moment. His header back to Taylor in the centre circle, to Boys on the left wing, far side. Boys having to go backwards though under the pressure of Williams. Taylor supporting him, lifts it forward for Dallas to try and get onto. And it's been taken off to the Carlisle captain by Walker and Dallas, but the through ball played by Walker into Dallas is offside because of the number 9's position. So we go for another restart. Third offside in the first 11.5 minutes.
Yeah, and that one wasn't the most intelligent of the lot. The others have been offsides because they're trying to run the line and then get in behind. But that one, Dallas had done the work to win the ball back or to make it available, got left in an offside position. You can't play it to him then.
Came off Morgan Feeney wearing the captain's armband today. Player who joined from Shrewsbury Town in July, local lad from Bootle in Cumbria. Is the kick from the goalkeeper, might in the head of Southend's Miley. Goes back to Scott Morris, and his clearance doesn't find anybody. Going from right to left, bounces out inside Carlisle's half for a throw-in to the visitors. Williams with the ball in his hand.
Completely aimless, that one from Scott Morris.
And you know
it wasn't like he missed anybody. There was no one there to miss.
So the throw from Williams doesn't find another man in light blue. Well, the header from Ralph is met by McAdam, and Luamba wants to get moving down the right wing. Pushed away from Ralph, but Miley with a tackle as he was on the turn. But Carlisle do gain about 30 metres to make their next throw in. Williams, short to Con Clark with the flick into Luamba, but again Ralph with a big tackle to take it off of him. His pass into Coker has too much on it. McAdam's able to win it back for Carlisle. Now Con Clark on the edge of the penalty area, but again it's taken off his boot by Nathan Ralph, whose clearance will come out on the right wing near side. Harper can't get there.
He's inventive little so Con Clark, isn't he?
He did a couple of Rabona sort of shots inside the penalty area during the warm-up where you almost wrap one foot around the back of the other to make the shot. He's full of confidence. I remember watching him actually for Peterborough United in a pre-season friendly against Colchester, and he looked a bit frustrated there. You could see back in the National League he's just playing brimming with confidence, and it's something Southend needs to be so aware of. He's got a lot of space right now, in fact.
By the way, go try that yourself. You're pulled ligaments galore.
Luamba just staying down following a big challenge from Harry Boys. He's limping away, but is back on his feet. Hence the boos from the Southend fans. The Blues happy to have possession in their own half. 13.5 minutes played. Southend United 0, Carlisle United 0 on BBC Essex 4. Ball played down the left wing, asking Dallas to chase this one. Feeney ensuring that the goalkeeper comes for it, and as Paul Clark says, it was very sharp defending.
Yeah, it was great defending because he got his body in a position. If it turns into a foot race, he got himself between man and the ball, and then just wait for the goalkeeper to come and pick it up, take it off him, take responsibility. Con Clark on the ball again for them.
But I just watched Mark Hughes, the Carlisle manager, Manchester United legend. He was furious at the fact that was allowed to develop as well. And he's clear that Southend are looking to play long balls through the middle of the Carlisle defence to try and get the physicality of Dallas and Walker to bring it down.
Yeah, I think you'll find that the levels he's played at, they expect certain standards.
They do. We'll talk about Mark Hughes a bit later on. Meanwhile, boys cutting in field, trying to get it to Walker, but he'd run away from the ball, and it allows Carlisle to get back on the break. Luamba with Austin trying to put some pressure on. His pass across
turn there
has been turned, and Kelly has a bit of a wrestling match with Goodliff. I thought the ball would fall kindly to Goodliff, but Kelly was like a shadow behind him trying to take it off the Southend defender.
Shades of the FA Cup game though, as the ball gets knocked over the top and runs through to the goalkeeper. As that defender, that last defender, when you receive the ball, you've got to know where the opposition is and take your first touch away from them. He's turned straight into them, exactly as he did in the FA Cup, and nearly did exactly the same, nearly pulled Kelly down.
Ben Goodliff, unbeaten against Carlisle United, 2 wins and 1 draw. Of course, a man who knows about getting promoted from the National League. Luamba is down. He did pick up a heavy challenge before, and now he's stayed down. I've got to say, Paul, I've never seen so many players in orange boots as well. It feels like Carlisle have got someone providing orange boots to them as well. I normally try to help identify different players, and normally orange is maybe 1 or 2, but there's about 6 or 7 out there.
Not back in the old days when everyone wore black. You had no chance.
It was a rarity, that is, nowadays. Well, so Luamba getting some treatment. Remind, of course, that we are on air until 8 o'clock here on BBC Essex, a mammoth show which started at midday. Colchester United's 2-0 defeat against Bromley. Then we had Braintree losing 1-0 against Wealdstone on the road. And now finally says at Roots Hall, where it's goalless between Southend and Carlisle. Paul Clark.
It's unfortunate that last attack for Blues, because I think it might have been Miley was carrying it forward around the edge of the box. And you say tried to slip it into Josh Walker and tried to hit his feet, and Josh is making the run that we were talking about earlier, trying to run the line and want it in behind. He's got to make that run. He's got to time that run so that Cav Miley sees it, or the man on the ball sees it, and gives him a chance to go, right, I see where you want it, and now play it. But he left it so late, the player stands, gets his head up, has a look, sees him standing still, thinks, right, he wants it to his feet, I'll bounce it off him, and just as his head goes down, he makes that run. He's got to make it obvious, make the run early. Even if you make... Lineker used to talk about the 2 runs, one towards the man and then spinning behind, but that's what you've got to know your players, so that Cav Miley, or the man on the ball, sees him come short and thinks that's the signal that he wants the next one in behind.
Carlisle United right winger Julia Luamba making his way off the pitch on the right wing far side. He's back on his feet and has had some treatment from the Cumbrian physio. The play restarts with a Carlisle throw-in. Sharp stuff between Kelly and Con Clark. He has to turn back though under the pressure of Miley. Across to Hayden. Walker putting pressure onto him, and the long ball from right to left doesn't find Linney. He's well shut down by Scott Morris and Taylor, and it falls to the feet of Nick Hayes, wearing all green today.
Yeah, Linney knew he was offside, so didn't even bother trying to go for it. Just ran towards his own goal and waved his arm, said nothing to do with me, I'm offside.
Regan Linney. Patrick, as we say, in the 3-2 win against Reading in the FA Cup. Last league goals were a brace in that 4-2 win over Forest Green Rovers on the 18th of October, which set a tone of how competitive the National League is this season. Austin for Southend goes back to his defender Goodliff. Across to Taylor, who will go back to Nick Hayes, first time. Spinning towards the right, and McAdam will look to get underneath it, but the ball bounces and Walker can head that on, and Dallas is there to pick it up. Scott Morris, first time down the right wing. Walker and Dallas chasing this one, but right between them, sandwiched between the Southend attackers, was Morgan Feeney defending strongly again. And Carlisle will look to capitalise on spaces. Gillard with a 360 turn before he finds Harper. Ball threaded looking for McAdam, but Austin for Southend getting in the way. Taylor's poke is met by Carlisle's Gilead. And Harper switching from left to right, doesn't quite meet Luamba. Kelly's attempted control is picked up by Miley, and he's put it straight into Williams of Carlisle. He pressed it to Conclark, he's edged a penalty area, might shoot from distance and he'll find the corner. We talked about the dangers of Chris Conclark. One glimpse of an opportunity and he will take it, and he scored his first league goal for the Cumbrians, and Nick Hay, some will say he should have done better as it nestled in the back of his net. But it's Carlisle United that lead after 19 minutes. Southend United 0, Carlisle United 1.
Yeah, I think initially it was a poor touch. Was it Kev Miley in midfield? It came to him and he's just dumped it off to a teammate. Completely missed and overhit it and gave it to Carlisle. But then it was just quick recycling, get it moved forward, then got it to Conclark, 20 yards out. And all he does is shifts it open, waits for that opportunity to shoot, and exactly what we were talking about earlier, getting those shooting positions. Don't turn down the options, because that's what can happen.
Carlisle United, the second top scorers in the National League, showing why they have that tally. And Southend United, for the first time since the game against Scunthorpe United at the end of September, find themselves behind at Roots Hall by a goal to 0. And that's just dampened the mood a bit of the thousands of Southend fans, while the Carlisle fans who travelled such a long way are up out on their feet and chanting. But Southend looking to attack here through Walker, taken off him again by Feeney. Again they look to whip the ball from left to right through Conclark, but this time a scramble of dark blue bodies win the ball back for Southend. Conclark's gone down on the edge of the halfway line, holding the back of his head, and the Southend fans around us in the East Stand are furious because the Blues were on the attack. Paul Clark, did you see what happened?
They just went through a crowd of players and just a flailing arm just caught him on the head, and they'll just go down and make the most of it and try and kill the game off. Of course they will. It's what Gus Scott Morris tries to do every week when he gets a clump round the ear. So I'm a firm believer that you can't complain when you do it to the opposition if they do it to you.
Interesting, healthy debate in the technical area between Kevin Mayer and the Carlisle United technical staff, as Mark Hughes gives instructions to Georgie Kelly, himself looking for his 5th goal of the season. Won 2 promotions actually in the Irish Premier League with Dundalk, played Champions League and Europa League qualification games. Kevin Mayer never beat Carlisle as a player, drew 3 times and lost once, none of them with Southend.
Looks a good player in his opening 20 minutes as well, Kelly. He's done the defensive work that a lot of centre forwards are asked to do these days, but some of his touches and his passing, his link-up play going forward has been excellent in this opening period.
So Conclark coming off now because there was a hit on the head. He has to make sure that it's nothing serious in terms of concussion regulations. So we restart with a drop ball for Southend, inside, just in the middle of Carlisle's territory.
Yeah, and you feel sorry for the referee in these situations because he's obliged to stop it. If the lad's going down, he thinks it's head injury, you can't afford to guess and get it wrong.
But to start with, Scott Morris puts in the cross straight in, looking for Goodless. Header falls to Austin, who will shoot. It takes the touch off of McAdam before deflecting away. Ralph puts it back into a dangerous area. The clearance comes off his head, and after the pinball, Williams will try to get Carlisle moving down the right wing. His touch, his pass, almost met by Kelly, but Taylor there to cover it.
Yeah, great cover. Great cover, and what we're talking about earlier as well. He's seen where the man is, and his first touch, the header, took it into a safe area, so he knows he's got plenty of time. Great defending.
So Southend now 1-0 down, just under a quarter of the game being played. And you look at where they've conceded those goals. Southend only conceded 1 in the first 23 minutes before today, out of the 12 they conceded. Scott Morris's attempted pass down the right wing met by Conclark. Maybe another throw in for the Blues. Ball comes back to him from the East Stand, Darren Curry. Still got a touch on him. Scott Morris. Crossfield pass from right to left to the far side. Nathan Ralph, edge of the centre circle. Boys on his outside. Gives it back to his captain. He looks up, decides to put a crossfield pass back to Scott Morris, who gets a header onto it into the penalty area. Walker trying to turn away. Will come to Miley, edge of the penalty area, who shoots. It comes off the boot of the captain, Feeney, who's like a brick wall at the moment for Carlisle United. Would have been on target, I suspect, from Cav Miley as well.
Yeah, again, I haven't got a problem with him trying to get the shot away there. The man's gone down the line, but again on that far side, he's struggling.
It's a shame to see. Junior Luamba had scored a brace for Carlisle against Halifax Town earlier in the week. Man who joined from Salford City over the summer, Congolese international, and I suspect it will probably be the end of his game. You look at the attacking options on the bench for Carlisle United, looking at the likes of Luke Armstrong, centre forward, and David Ajaboy, who's a right wing. You suspect he would be the one being prepared to come on, but Armstrong warming up as briefings come in from both the teams. You get all these scores on the BBC Sport website if you want to catch up on those. You can listen back to the show on BBC Sounds, and anything Southend United, insight, interviews, features, chats of former players, it's all on the BBC Sounds club feed. Just go BBC Sounds, search for Southend United, and you can find it all on there. Great chat with Kevin Mayer earlier in the week saying we're ready for the challenge today. But Paul Clark, if you're Kevin Mayer right now, 25 minutes into the game, what needs to change for Southend to get themselves back level?
Well, first,
it's a big question.
They've got to start winning more balls in that midfield area, because when it does drop around there, Con Clark, he will break you open even if it's tight in there. So you've got to not let them get on the ball and pick it up yourself. For me, the back three spend too long when they receive the ball. They receive it, and invariably it will go square or back again. Harry Taylor particularly, but Nathan Ralph on that far side, when they receive it, open the body so that the next ball can go forward, and then see if we can get Dallas and Walker playing closer together. They've tried on a couple of occasions, but it hasn't come, so that one comes short, one goes long, and whichever one you hit, the other man is there in support. Either it goes long, second man spins out. If it goes short, he can just flick it round the corner and then go and get it again.
So an early substitution for the visitors after 25 minutes due to injury struggles for Junior Luamba. Coming on in his place will be number 2, Archie Davis.
I think one other thing I would say to him, especially around the final third, if you're going to foul with your pass, foul behind the defenders, not in front of them, because these have got enough that if you fail in front of them, they can break at pace and hurt you quickly. If you fail behind them, well, at least you get a second chance, and they've got to get themselves and play out again.
So Archie Davis dropping into his usual right back position, while Williams will push forward into the right wing position. Williams has never scored a professional goal. The 22-year-old.
You had to say it, didn't you?
I did. But we'll play Rex restart. I suspect we'll have a good 3 to 4 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first half, following these lengthy delays that we've had for Junior Luamba. And Harry Boyes has been put under pressure by Carlisle in his own half, and it's a throw into the visitors.
But when he received that ball, he was 20 yards in the opposition half, and he received it. His first touch took him back, and then they latched onto him and went, right, we'll just keep you going that way, and pushed him further and further and further. He had no options in the end.
Feeney, the high ball down the right wing, met by the head of Southend's Goodliff. McAdam keeps it alive for the visitors. This ball comes to ground. It's the substitute Davis, brings it into the path of his captain, who again hammers it down the right wing. Kelly able to turn and get it into Williams. Decides to put it back to Gillide. Davis on his right, front of a quieter West Stand filled with Southend fans. And decides to go back to the linear. The centre-backs get a touch on the ball. Aaron Hayden coming in, but the touch from Harper intercepted by Southend Scott Morris, but the ball spinning into the path of Gillide, and Carlisle looking to get moving again. Harper's first time ball, asking Con Clark to chase it, but he was a step behind the ball, and Southend able to pick it back up. Still 1-0.
Look there. Why has Harry Taylor carried that 15 yards forward, stopped, and then played it back to a centre half 15 yards behind? There must be a midfield player or a striker. He can still give it to feet. He still retains possession.
Especially when Scott Morris is in acres of space on this right wing. Now met by Goodliff with a crossfield ball from left to right. Heads it into the path of Walker. Defenders taking the slip. Fans want handball, but Walker will keep playing. And he loses it, and Con Clark able to take it away. He's breaking through the middle of Taylor and Miley. There's space for Linney on the left side of the penalty area. Carlisle barely down. Linney shooting and Linney scoring. That's what he does for Carlisle United. His 15th goal of the season. As soon as Con Clark picked it up in his own half, Southend were backpedaling, and there was acres of space for Regan Linney to slot it into the bottom right corner past the hapless Nick Hayes. And Carlisle United have doubled their lead in the first half an hour. Southend United 0, Carlisle United 2.
Well, I just referred to what I was saying before. The Blues had possession, and instead of looking to go forward, it's all safe, and then finally when it did go forward, it ended up, all right, Gus Scott Morris, all he can do is help it on because it's a long diagonal ball. Never really had it under control then, but then when they broke, it was brilliant. And you look at Con Clark just carrying the ball, carrying it, and defenders getting sucked towards him, and he had that awareness then just to slide it out to the left-hand side, where Linney was cute enough just to hold his ground and go, I'll let all the defenders go in there because that's how I'll create space for myself, and then picked it up. What a consummate finish from him.
2 hammer blows from the stars of the Carlisle United team. See Southend down 2 goals, and we haven't played half an hour yet at Roots Hall. Again, as the fireworks go off behind the stand, it's the visitors that have brought them to the game.
It highlights the point we were making before the game as well. Gus Scott Morris goes forward, Liddy's not up against Harry Taylor, he'll just stay away from him and go on, you go and cover over there and I'll stay out here. Won't go and get involved in a fight with him, get himself into areas where he can be picked out. But as I say, even having got there,
this is clever stuff though from Southend. Walker getting it into Dallas. He's trying to take it off of Feeney. Ball almost magnetic to his foot at the moment as he takes it off them. There were some one-touch headers between the Southend players working it in tight quarters to get it to the edge of the penalty area, but swept up by the visitors. But Southend will try to come forward now through their captain Nathan Ralph, ranging into Carlisle territory.
Again, Boys touches and goes nowhere.
Into Ralph, who checks back. He wants to make room for a cross, drives towards the byline. He'll whip it towards the far post. It's a looping pass. Scott Morris meets it with the header, but goes behind him. Coker there to pick it up. Austin was near to him inside the penalty area, but Coker decides to go back to Taylor. He's so far up as well, and you worry as well with Taylor being that far up. Only good lift back, gets it from Coker inside the centre circle. 2-0 Carlisle United leading Southend United here on BBC Essex. Don't forget, we'll have interviews coming up from the Colchester and Braintree games as well. We're on air until 8 o'clock. Dallas turning on the edge of the final third into Coco, who made a run from right to left. Out to Nathan Ralph, who stayed up. He's taking on Gilley, puts it across the path. Austin's there, there's a goal back for Southend United. Best response possible for them, and Sam Austin punches the air and gets thousands of Southend fans out to their seats. Ralph's pass across the grass just needed a touch from Austin, and he found it for his first goal since the end of August, and Southend are on the board. Southend United 1, Carlisle United 2.
Yeah, and Nathan Ralph, I was just about to slaughter him because he had a chance to put the ball in early and turned it down and took yet another touch. Lost count of how many touches he had there, but at least this next one he knocked it beyond the defender and got into that crossing position and was good enough to pick out. Whether he picked him out or not, don't know, but put it into a dangerous area, and Sam Austin found himself in space and didn't try to do too much with it, just opened his foot and guided it goal bound, and it was a really good goal.
3 goals in the first 31 minutes. This game is living up to the billing, but Southend 2-1 down at the moment. How can they respond? Can they do it again? I'll tell you something, Gabriel Breeze, the Carlisle United goalkeeper, won't get his 9th clean sheet of the season. Rangy pass finds its way to the feet of Kelly. Con Clark into Harper, who's come up from the defence. Linney, his touch was heavy, but it's gone beyond Coker. He'll get a chance to shoot. It comes off the body of Miley. Bounces on the edge of the centre circle. Advantage being played for Carlisle, who whip it into the middle, looking for the head of Kelly, but Taylor there to meet it. His clearing header, met by Walker, nudges it beyond the defender. Can he get to the next ball? Gillied's there to cover. He's covered a lot of ground, at number 24 for Carlisle, but Southend have suddenly got a bit of wind in their sails, Paul Clark.
Yeah, it's, they've got a little bit of guile in their midfield, Carlisle, but they've got a bit of steel as well with Gillied, and Dallas picks up a booking.
Andy, after that initial foul on the edge of the centre circle before the advantage was played, that coming after 33 minutes. Andy Dallas, who picks up his first yellow card of the season. Well, Southend get restarted with a long throw on the right wing near side, aiming for Walker, who will pick it up in the penalty area. He's drifting across, attempts the shot but takes a block. Scott Morris might put a cross in, it takes the deflection off a man in light blue and will be cleared away to Con Clark, but he can't get there before Scott Morris. But Kelly and Con Clark combine, although Harry Taylor was not caught up in the tornado of Carlisle attack in that moment. Harper, friend into Clark, first time out of his feet to Linney, he nudges it beyond Taylor, but Southend's Miley sticking with the top scorer in the National League and gets it to Scott Morris. He'll put it down the middle. Dallas looking to get onto this one, but Carlisle's Aaron Hayden climbing first. I think Carlisle will be relieved, Paul Clark, to take the pace down of the game at that moment.
They will do. They just want to get a foothold again back into the game and spoil Southend's bit of impetus that they've got going. But just one thing that they've got that Blues haven't got: imagination in those midfield areas. I mean, I know it didn't come off for Linney there, but what a clever little touch around the defender, and then runs around the other side. It was unfortunate to see Miley coming in and nicking that for him as Blues break down
Southend, yeah, looking to get through Boys. He's deep on the left wing, far side, has an overlapping run from Nathan Ralph. He provided the assist for the first goal. First time into Austin. He goes back to Boys. Karimpa to whip it in. It needs Feeney to clear it away, and it gets gobbled up by the North Bank. And all of a sudden, the Southend fans sense an opportunity with, believe it or not, the first corner kick of the game after 35 minutes. It's played short by Southend into Austin, lifts it into the middle, good lift at the far post, and it's off the body of Feeney, and it's cleared away by his central defensive partner Aaron Hayden. Won't go out of play. Taylor to pick it up, still 2-1 to Carlisle.
Well, funny what you do when you play 1 and 2 touch, and get the balls into quick areas and get the opportunity to deliver a ball into the box. As good
crossfield ball, Goodliff meets it, but he can't find another man in dark blue, and Feeney once again clearing away. As far as Ralph, a bit more air in the lungs of the Southend fans now. Ralph to whip this cross in. He's got Scott Morris on his own on the far side. Goodliff had got climbed for it as well, and between them was Harper. We'll put it along the grass to Regan Linney, but Coker taking it off his feet. I should have maybe made a first time pass perhaps into Goodliff, but decides to keep the composure. To Scott Morris and Taylor.
Yeah, did well, Coker there.
Oh, brilliant turn from Sam Austin to get away from McAdam. They're taken off him by Williams. Advantage being played by the referee.
Yeah, he's called it back now.
But now the referee has pulled it back, and Carlisle, Southend, will have a free kick opportunity 5 yards away from the edge of the penalty area, not far from the D, and a yellow card for Carlisle United.
Yeah, it's a strange one. The referee did play the advantage, but Southend still had it, and for some reason he decided, no, I'll pull it back. I think it's because Blues went so wide with it that he thought, well, actually the free kick in the centre of the pitch is to more of Southend's advantage.
A free kick for Southend. 36 minutes on the clock.
Pretty much what Coker's in the side for, isn't it?
It is. Probably the last time he scored a free kick goal. And the last time he scored a goal was against Ebbsfleet United, the second goal in a 4-0 win on the other side of the Dartford crossing. Of course, we saw Jack Bridge score a brilliant goal against Woking late on. As Paul Clark said, what he wanted to see, just shoot. That's what you said.
Now all I want to see, hit the target. Ask the keeper question.
Coker, right-footed. Oh, it skims past the crossbar. That looked close. And there were a few fans on their feet as well. Looked close from here. It's still 2-1, but didn't hit the target.
I ain't never going to go in. Don't hit the target, I ain't going to go in.
A flurry of 5 shots on goal now from Southend in this half, whereas Carlisle have had 2 shots and 1 of them's gone in. I beg your pardon, they've had 3 shots and 2 of them have gone in. And as Paul Clark said, it's down to that creativity. It's just 1 touch less needed for Carlisle at the moment to get the ball moving forward. But Southend have responded though. They've sharpened the pace up. As a Coker especially is trying to nip the ball off the Carlisle defenders in their own half. Archie Davis gets it from Clark, who's orbiting around the pitch. Feeney gives it to the Peterborough United loanee. Crossfield pass into Harper, but his header will only find Southend's Miley. Into Coker, edge of the centre circle inside Carlisle's half. Scott Morris has to go back to Taylor. Now Goodliff into Nathan Ralph, the only player on the pitch to be involved in a previous meeting between Southend United and Carlisle United. That coming in the 2020-21 season. Both games played behind closed doors in League 2.
That's a good ball.
Goodliff with a crossfield pass from left to right. Scott Morris, instant control, whips it looking for the back post. Is met by the head of Dallas, but loops into the air and won't meet the top left corner. And Gabriel Breeze, like plucking an apple out of a tree, will gladly take that one.
Oh, great touch, son. Great touch.
Georgie Kelly picking it up for the visitors. Gets it into Con Clark, who decides to turn away from the Southend defence, but it creates room for Harper to get forward. Walker are being asked by Kevin Mayer to do defensive work. Linney bursting from the the left wing on this near side, plays it across the field to Davis, who's up into the final third, whips across in looking for Kelly, who's met by Ben Goodliff. His clearing header doesn't beat the penalty area. McAdam is able to put this in as defensive work done at the back by Cav Miley, and it is cleared away by Southend. Austin getting a touch onto it, only as far as Southend's Carlisle's Gilead, and goes back to Hayden. Con Clark. Carlisle trying to run rings around Southend, but that ball trying to go through the middle, not met by Kelly, and straight into the grateful grasp of Nick Hayes. Still Southend 1, Carlisle United 2, with 6 minutes of normal time left in this first half, expecting 4 or 5 minutes of stoppage. The goal kick that has been picked up by Walker. He's still moving, puts it into the middle. Just needed a man in dark blue on the edge of the penalty area, but it was McAdam there for Carlisle United. It was a gift, that one, Paul Clark.
Yeah, so you're right, all it needed was someone in a blue shirt on the edge. Where were they? They're 10, 15 yards behind. As soon as Walker gets that in behind, you've got to bust the gut to get beyond the player. Gamble that the ball is going to come into those areas.
Miley to Nathan Ralph with the overlapping run on the left wing far side. Austin on his inside, first time, really clever into Miley, who will shoot! It's pushed away by the keeper and has to be cleared by Cameron Harper as Scott Morris was ghosting in behind him. Cav Miley has not scored for a long time. Have to go back to April 2024 for that, but he had a shot on target and needed the save of the keeper. Scott Morris to whip this cross in from the right wing. It might take a touch on Dallas, but it's met by Hayden. And Carlisle will look to break now through Regan Linney, who's got some pace as he gets away from Scott Morris. And now it looks like 3-on-2 for Carlisle. Con Clark, he'll want to get it to Kelly. Decides to go outside him. Kelly will pick it up in the penalty area. Williams comes in, gets a shot away. It comes off the head of Goodliff and is cleared away by Sam Austin. Goodliff staying down. Had a bit of a collision with Nathan Ralph as they both went in to defend that one. Still 2-1 to Carlisle, but the Cumbrians broke at pace again.
Yeah, it just goes to show as well. Linney against Gus Scott Morris there. Gus Scott Morris looked like he was running through treacle. He absolutely slaughtered him, and that's why I was saying that he's not going to do an awful lot of defending, because he can't. He just hasn't got that turn of pace to go with someone like a Linney, and then, as you say, they broke a pace. But this, since, or just before Blue scored, hasn't it been noticeable? The tempo, the pace. They've got balls into wide areas, not thought twice, not slowed it down, not put a foot on it and thought, I'll play another little pass there, then get it back, get it into dangerous areas, put it in the box, ask questions of defenders, and they are struggling to come up with answers. They're doing it at the moment, but it's all last ditch, and Blues have had little bits of pieces and little chances just because they're playing at a tempo.
It's almost like a switch went on, in a way, wasn't it? It's like they had it there and it just needed something to ignite it, and that has been going 2-0 down.
But my question would be, why does it take something to ignite it?
Yeah.
If you know that's what required, why are you playing tippy-tappy, 3, 4, get me head up, 5, 6 touches, now I'll play a pass, when you know, get it out your feet, get it past.
Goodliff is off the pitch temporarily, he'll come back on shortly as Southend tries to get it out of their own half. Coker there to meet it. He's asking Walker to chase this one down the right wing. Goodliff absolutely fine, by the way, following collision with Nathan Ralph. Walker, he's on the right edge of the penalty area, taking on Harper, drifting towards the byline. His cross takes a deflection, he'll fall to the path of Linney, straight out of his feet into Georgie Kelly. He's there ahead of Nathan Ralph. Goodliff coming back into the fray. Con Clark back to Linney. Should say the earlier yellow card was confirmed for Josh Williams following the challenge on Sam Austin. Carlisle give possession away. McAdam coming off his hand, and Southend will be able to break down the left wing. Harry Boyes taking McAdam on, deciding to drift in field, has Coker in space. He might shoot from here, you know. Oh, he forces to save. Will it fall to a Southend player? No, it won't. It's pushed out by Davis. Coker had acres of space, shot to the bottom left corner. It needed Breeze to get there, and it's a corner kick for Southend, played quickly. They want to get this ball moving. They found a couple of gears. It's slowed down now into Dallas, who took the corner kick quickly. And he's forced backwards, and that causes the groans from the fans around the Roots Hall. Little 1-2 might find its way to Nathan Ralph. He's found a bit of space, puts it across. It looks for Goodliff, but then in there first was Harvey McAdam of Carlisle, who suddenly looked on the back foot. 2 minutes of normal time to go in this first half. Southend 1, Carlisle 2.
Again, the crowd can sense it. They know that Southend are causing problems when they do things at pace, and that's why they groaned when they slowed it all down again and then picked it back up. I'm not saying you can do it for 90 minutes, but when you've got the opposition rocking, don't bail them out by taking your foot off the gas.
Coker with the corner from the left wing far side. It's met though by Feeney. Will fall to Taylor. He's being encouraged to shoot, but decides to give it to Boys on his left far side. Straight to Coker, will put another ball into the middle, this time met by Gillade. It's intercepted by Southend, who are piling on the pressure. Coker, now he'll whip it in again, looks for Goodliff, who takes a shot with the outside of his boot, and it lifts up, and it's straight into the grasp of Gabriel Breeze. He wanted to move quickly, but Southend unable to make him do that. We're finding out shortly how much stoppage time we're going to get in this first half.
It's brilliant from the goalkeeper there. Don't have to take pressure off your defenders. There's been a couple of times where the ball's been hung up sort of 15 yards out, and he's just gone, no, I'll go and deal with that. Josh
Walker has won the ball off of Archie Davis. Southend trying to get down the left wing again, and suddenly Archie Davis looks like he's really feeling the pressure since he came on to replace the injured Junior Luamba. From the throw-in, Walker able to turn away. Is this a chance for Southend? Cut back to Dallas. It's put into the middle by Boys, and it takes a big tackle from Williams, who throws his hands in frustration as the flags wave in the North Bank. It's another corner kick for Southend. Have they got another goal in them before the break? 2-1 down. A pulsating atmosphere right now at Roots Hall. Harry Boys with his corner kick in front of the North Bank. It'll be left-footed from the left corner, swing away from the goal. Goes for the near post. Scott Morris with the header! It drifts to the left of the left upright. It gets the applause, but Southend still 2-1 down. 7 minutes of additional time to come in this first half, which Paul Clark, the pace it's felt like 90 minutes already.
Yeah, it's been terrific since Blues got themselves back into the game, and they've really got Carlisle on the back foot. And as I just said a moment ago, don't take your foot off the gas. It's 7 minutes, lovely, you can do that. You can do 7 minutes at this tempo, then you get yourself a 15-minute break. So just keep it going like that, because you've got them rocking.
As we said, Carlisle have suffered defeats this season. 5-0 on the road at York City. Held to a 3-3 draw in their first home game of the season against Boreham Wood. Right now the best attended National League game of the season. That one, with 8,741 fans attending that. Crossfield pass from Taylor. Finds with pinpoint accuracy Boys. He'll cut inside Williams, but has to go round again. Never really wants to go on the right foot, this Boys. He'll get it from Austin. And the play hugging the left wing on the far side in front of the West Stand is nudged to Ralph, is intercepted by Carlisle's Williams. And Con Clark, who's had a quiet 10 minutes by his standards in this game, gets on the ball and plays it to the left where there's room for Harper. And Carlisle looking to break at pace, but suddenly Harper has to check back into Con Clark.
See, when Boys picks that up and he comes inside, he's now looking for one of the strikers so he can go and bounce the ball off him, but they all just run away from him, so he ends up checking and going back out wide again, and all the momentum goes out of it.
Hayden, player, as we say, won promotions consecutive with Wrexham from National League and League 2. Unbeaten against Southend, 2 wins and 2 draws. Meanwhile, Southend coming out of their half with Taylor striding forward to Scott Morris. Looks for options though, puts his hands up under the pressure of Con Clark and Linney. He'll lift it forward to Coker, but it's met by Hayden. That will go out for a throw on the right wing on this near side. And Scott Morris will take it. Back to Taylor. Might think about the cross, but the gap's closing up on him. Really having to get the ball away from Gillade, who is there, so able to turn away, and Georgie Kelly in his deepest position yet. I've seen him doing that defensive work and working hard for the visitors. The clearance met by Southend's Goodliff with the header. Dallas tries to take it under control, but it's eventually thumped away by Gillade. Throw in for Southend. Scott Morris will take it. Kevin Mayer Goodliff was going to take that throw, but Kevin Mayer has said to Goodliff, who'd initially track back, get forward, keep the press on. As you said, Paul Clark, only played now 3 minutes or so of the 7 additional.
Good touch.
Yeah, Nathan Ralph getting the applause for that touch as he brings a long kick from the Carlisle defence under control. Boys turning away from the halfway line. Into Miley, space for him on the left wing far side. Scott Morris once again with room. Dallas found. A sneaky run. Feeney pushing him over, but it's judged to be throw-in for the Cumbrians as it came off of Dallas, or he tumbled in front of the West Stand.
Yeah, it's one the forwards try to win the free kick. The defender gets tied up his back, so the forward then just puts the brakes on and allows the defender to run into the back of them, and then poor little souls get nudged over face first and win a free kick, but the referee was wise to it.
Well, the throw by Carlisle is straight to Nathan Ralph, but boys can't find another man in dark blue. It ricochets off the boot of Austin, and Carlisle will get another throw in inside their own half, far side. Yeah, James Patient waiting to hear from you in the studio as well. Make sure you get your thoughts in to him. 81333 on text, 08000 321 on WhatsApp. Start with the word Essex.
We'll take a break at half time. You were saying a moment ago at how the likes of Con Clark and Linney haven't been as effective. It's exactly what we said earlier. Blues have started to dominate, or have dominated, that little midfield area since the first goal, Southend's first goal, really.
I think a difference in that actually has been Nolly Coker. But he's been the one that's been breaking up the play, isn't it, and trying to get Southend on the front foot, and Miley as well in front of the defence.
Exactly, and obviously then you've got Hayes. If they're winning that, he then gets the opportunity to go forward, and Coker's got himself in a couple of shooting positions, and it's not that Con Clark's gone missing or anything, it's just Southend have dominated possession in there.
Another throw in by Carlisle, gifted straight to Southend. He attempted a looping pass into Dallas on the right side of the penalty area, goes over his head. Be a goal kick for Carlisle. Gabriel Breeze taking his time with it. He makes 57 appearances now, former Carlisle United youth player. Funny thing, you look at the Carlisle team, not a lot of it changed from the team that came down from League 2, but they brought in players from teams above like Salford City, Shrewsbury Towns, Peterborough United, players we've mentioned before today. From the goal kick, Goodliff tried to put it forward for Southend, but Carlisle win it back, and now Georgie Kelly inside Southend's territory. To his left is Regan Linney, but ball taken away from him by Scott Morris and Coker and Miley. Scott Morris trying to get away from Linney, but he's got too much pace for him. As it drifts out of play, it will be another Carlisle throw, and as we're taking to the last 90 seconds of this additional, still Southend 1, Carlisle 2.
He had a nice little ball that he could have just rolled along the touchline there. Andy Dallas was making the run to give him that option, but just took him too long.
Play first time looking for Kelly, hugging this left wing. There's a bit of afters with Taylor. Yeah. The referee had his back to them, and the assistant was looking at the ball. Well, Archie Davis down the right wing on the far side will find Con Clark. Is able to turn and drive into the penalty area and shoot. Massive save from Nick Hayes. This time Con Clark didn't find the back of the net, aimed it towards the bottom right corner. Hayes with a huge leg to loop it away, and it goes over the goal line. It'll be a corner kick for Carlisle United, still 2-1.
I mean, Hayes has done particularly well there because, as you say, he's given him the eyes, he's put him one way, and Hayes has done so well just to keep his eye on the ball and stick his leg out. But what about the turn from Con Clark on the edge of the box? I think the three defenders are all going to go and get a ticket to get back in again.
I think I'll come back to what he said. He makes everyone else look like they're running treacle at that point. Just a turn away out of his body, grossing away from Goodliff into the penalty area to get the shot. But as you say, didn't win the staring contest with Nick Hayes. Corner comes in from the right wing far side, thumped away by Scott Morris with a clearing header, coming into the last 10 seconds of this stoppage time. But Walker will want to go on the attack, gets brought down, but Southend can keep playing, and they've actually got options on this right side. Scott Morris wants to put it into Dallas. He'll drive right side of the penalty area, taking on his man Harper, puts it into the middle, it takes a bounce and is cleared away by the Cumbrians. It will go out for a throw-in.
I would think.
There will be. Referee is going to reach to his pocket, and a second yellow card for the visitors.
Tell you what, that enough good refereeing.
Archie Davis. Yeah, really, he's played a couple of advantages now.
Absolutely, a really good advantage he played there, and Blues nearly profited from it, and he's remembered it and gone back and booked the lad.
I'll come back to it again. Archie Davis has looked on the border of being in trouble on that right wing for Nathan Ralph, as it's played from the throw from right to left. Ralph will shoot straight down the middle and straight into the grateful gloves of Gabriel Breeze, and a frenetic, intensely played 52 minutes at Roots Hall comes to an end, and fans on their feet all around us at what they've seen. A top level National League display. At half time, Southend United 1, Carlisle United 2. It started with the two men we talked about a lot, Chris Con Clark finding space outside the penalty area and shooting into the bottom left corner after 19 minutes, followed 10 minutes later by the top scorer in domestic football in the country, Regan Linney, burying into the bottom right corner for his 15th goal of the season. But Southend United responded 3 minutes later. Ralph's pass met with a toe poke by Sam Austin to beat Gabriel Breeze, and it's been them on the front foot. 11 shots in that first half, but a big moment for Con Clark in the stoppage time. But he didn't win the staring contest against Nick Hayes, and it's 2-1 at half-time with the Blues against the Cumbrians. And Paul Clark, this first half has all been all about pace. Carlisle had it for that first 30, but as soon as Southend turned up the dial, they were the ones on the front foot.
Yeah, as games go, it was all right, wasn't it?
Not bad. I'm taking a breath now.
No, listen, like we said, Blues started, as you would expect, quite quickly, and Carlisle kind of expected that and sat back and just soaked it up, knew that they were going to get the chance and get a foothold in the game, and they did exactly what they want, kept Blues quiet for 10-15 minutes and then went on and really dominated. And it's to their huge credit, Blues, having gone 2-0 down and looked like they were going to be ripped apart, to their huge credit that they came back and got the goal and then lifted themselves and started playing at a pace, dominating those midfield areas so that they could negate the likes of Con Clark, particularly in that area, and give themselves a chance and get Carlisle hanging on to the end. But there was just that little warning: you can't just do it willy-nilly. Yeah, if it's still 2-1 or you're still behind 10 minutes from the end, throw caution to the wind, because what does it matter then? But at the moment, they've got to strike that balance between doing what they've been doing for that last 25 minutes or so, but just keep an eye on the back door, because if you go to sleep, these are good enough to really punish you.
Paul Clark, thank you very much. We will be back for the second half at Roots Hall. I'll tell you something, if there's anything like that first 52 minutes we saw, you're in for an absolute treat. Do not move. Jay's patient, waiting to hear from you in the studio. 81333 08000 321 333 on WhatsApp. Start your messages with the word Essex. We've seen fireworks going off in the wake of Guy Fawkes night, and in those words, fizz, wallop, bang, we've got a game in our hands at Roots Hall. Half time, Southend United 1, Carlisle United 2.
BBC Upload
with Rob Jelly.
Did you hear the story, A Pocket Full of Crotchets? About the magical music teacher? Gripping whodunits, sketches and podcasts. Just some of the things Upload can feature. Was it the postman with the newspaper in the cupboard under the stairs? It might be a story from a long way back in time, poems and verse. It could even rhyme. Whatever you've created, share it with me. Go to bbc.co.uk/upload and send in your work for free.
BBC Upload
with Rob Jelly.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
BBC Essex. BBC Essex Sport.
Good evening, James Patient with you on BBC Essex Sport until 8 o'clock tonight. Wow, at the break, Southend United trailing league leaders Carlisle United at Roots Hall. Chris Con Clark getting the breakthrough with a shot from the edge of the box. Some question marks over whether Nick Hayes could have done better. Then Regan Linney added a second. It felt a bit inevitable, really, didn't it? His 12th league goal of the season. But Southend have got one back. Sam Austin with the goal. Nathan Ralph with the assist, the Blues captain, and his team have looked the most dangerous going forwards since then. Can they pull off the comeback in the second half? We'll have to wait and see. Stick around for second half commentary to come very shortly. We've already heard on this bumper edition of BBC Essex Sport, Colchester United lose 2-0 at home to Bromley in the early kickoff, ending a 4-game unbeaten run in League Two for the U's. And after that, we brought you commentary of Braintree Town, who maintained their winless run with a 1-0 loss at Wealdstone. So it's 8 league games without a win now for the Iron. Is it too early to panic? Braintree fans, let us know your thoughts. 81333 on the text, 08000 321 333 on the WhatsApp. Make sure to start your message with the word Essex. Let's run you through some of the day's other scores then, shall we? Starting in the Premier League, in the day's early kickoff, Spurs drew 2-2 with Manchester United. Delict getting a last-minute equaliser there. Everton 2, Fulham 0, West Ham United 3, Burnley 2. It's currently first versus second going on at the moment in the Premier League. Sunderland lead Arsenal by 1-0 at the Stadium of Light, so possibly a bit of an upset on the cards. Chelsea against Wolverhampton Wanderers is still to come at 8 o'clock this evening. In the Championship, Blackburn 1, Derby County 2, Hull City 3, Portsmouth 2, Millwall 1, Preston North End 1, Middlesbrough 2, Birmingham City 1, Norwich City 1, Leicester City 2, Sheffield United 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0, Southampton 3, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Stoke City 0, Coventry City 1, Swansea City 1, Ipswich Town 4, a big win for the Town, West Bromwich Albion 2, Oxford United 1 and Wrexham 1, Charlton Athletic 0. Women's Super League action as well today, Arsenal 1, Chelsea 1 and Manchester United losing 1-0 at home to Aston Villa. League 1, Northampton Town 2, Mansfield 1, Wycombe Wanderers 4, Leyton Orient 1, Blackpool 3, Cardiff City 1, Bolton Wanderers 4, Port Vale 0, Bradford City 1, Burton Albion 2, Doncaster Rovers 1, Barnsley 2, Exeter City 1, Wigan Athletic 1, Huddersfield Town 3, Plymouth 1, Peterborough United with a massive 5-0 win at home to AFC Wimbledon, Rotherham United 3, Lincoln City 0 and Stockport County 0, Luton Town 3. And League 2 then, you already know about Colchester United's 2-0 defeat at home to Bromley. Danny Cowley said, "We've been Bromleyed." Can't really argue with that. Very big Bromley side, dominating from the set pieces. Elsewhere, Crewe Alexandra 3, Shrewsbury Town 1, Barnet 2, MK Dons 2, Barrow 2, Grimsby Town 2, Bristol Rovers 0, Gillingham 1, Chesterfield 3, Accrington Stanley 3, a 6-goal thriller at Chesterfield, Crawley Town 2, Fleetwood Town 1, Harrogate Town 0, Oldham Athletic 1, Newport County 2, league leaders Walsall 4, Salford City 0, Cambridge United 0 and Swindon Town 2, Tranmere Rovers 1. Elsewhere in the National League, Aldershot Town were beaten 3-2 at home to Forest Green Rovers in the early kick-off. Boston United 1, Rochdale 3, Brackley Town 1, Boreham Wood 3, Eastleigh 2, York City 4. Goals flying in everywhere in the National League today. Gateshead 0, Solihull Moors 2, Halifax Town 0, Hartlepool United 1, Morecambe 2, Sutton United 2, Scunthorpe United 1, Yeovil Town 0, Tamworth 0, Woking 1, Truro City 0, Altrincham 1. You already know about Wealdstone 1, Braintree Town 0, and it's currently Southend 1, Carlisle United 2. I'll try and run you through the local full-time scores before we're back underway for the second half at Roots Hall, but we can quickly head back to Grosvenor Vale where Braintree Town suffered yet another defeat in the league. It sounded like they created plenty of chances, but it's the same old problem for Steve Pitt's side, not clinical enough in front of goal. I know he's been so frustrated over the last couple of months and it is costing them at the moment. Let's hear then from the Iron head coach who's been reacting to that 1-0 defeat with BBC Essex's Tom Larson-Wright.
Well, Steve, a 1-0 defeat here at Wealdstone. Lots of chances in the first half. Wealdstone came on stronger in the second. Overall, your thoughts on today's game?
We outplayed them from start to finish. Proud of my team. If any questions have been asked of my team in recent weeks, which they have, and certainly justifiably so last Saturday, they were answered today. Sam Cox is a good man, he's a good manager. I go back a long way with Sam. I've spoken to him after the game and basically he's admitted we were infinitely the better side from start to finish. I thought if I'd been a neutral, trying to set aside my Braintree allegiance and the role that I play in this football club, I would have said that we were a joy to watch today. I thought we were really, really good in and out of possession. One moment where we switched off when we're on the offensive yet again has cost us, but the response I thought was fantastic. I thought we took the game to them. We've hit the bar. Keeper's made 2 outstanding saves, and if there'd been any justice, we'd have taken a point. In reality, we did more than enough to win the game of football. We were better than them from start to finish.
You made a decision to take John Akinde out of the side, so no big man up top, and that meant you were playing a slightly different way, but getting in behind and getting down the flanks. What do you make of the performance in that respect? Yeah,
I thought that we set up as a 3-4-1-2. And I thought, that everybody to a man was outstanding, from my goalkeeper to Che and Terrell up top. and correspondingly I thought the substitutes were really, really good when they came on. I thought Fletch was good, I thought Saheed was good, and John, bless him, did everything to get us back in the game. That scoreline, and I think I'm as honest and transparent as you possibly can be as a manager. That scoreline doesn't reflect our performance in any way, shape or form. I think any neutral in the ground would say that Braintree Town were infinitely the better side today, and I thought my players were a credit to themselves, myself, Dukes and Dave, the rest of the staff, and also the football club. And I think you see from the reaction of the fans at the end, they fully appreciated that we've done everything bar that win that game.
And there was 2 brilliant saves from their keeper Baptiste to keep you out and to keep you from getting that equaliser. But in the first half, it was kind of your own players' downfall in terms of not putting the ball in there. Is it something that's playing on their minds now, finding the net?
I think it's without question. Again, Sam came up to me at the beginning of the second half and said you should be 2-0 up comfortably. I think he was probably being a little bit unkind to us, to be fair. I think in reality it could have been more. I thought we had 4 really, really good chances in the first half. But confidence in front of goal is a big thing. When you're scoring goals, it comes freely. When you're not, it doesn't. But it's a real bitter pill to swallow today. And as I say, we've taken our criticism over the weeks, and rightly so, particularly last Saturday. But I'm not going to criticise anybody with that performance. We've switched off once. We've been undone. Their keeper's made some outstanding saves. And to be fair to Jack, he's not had a save to make.
No, that's absolutely true. I was going to ask about the end of the game, coming together on the pitch, a bit of a huddle and some red cards shown in the end. Any clarity on what's happened there?
No, I don't know. I didn't even see what occurred, and I don't get involved in things like that. The referee will obviously have a view based on himself and his officials and what have you. And I don't even know what the trigger point is. And it's not for me to say. I've got no background to the situation, and to be honest with you, I've not spoken to the players about it because my focus is on them and winning games and bringing success to this football club, and that's all I focus on.
Do you know who, if anyone, was sent off for your team?
No, I couldn't say.
Okay, we'll wait and see. Lastly, you mentioned after Wednesday night's game looking at potential incomings. Is there any movement there?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, possibly. We've got a clear week next week and a clear week the week after, and yet again, I think we defended magnificently today, apart from that one moment of madness when we're on the offensive. So we're not struggling from a defensive point of view. We've conceded 5 goals in 6 games, but the problem is, yet again today, and the keeper was outstanding. I've got to give him credit where credit's due. He's pushed John's header onto the bar and he's made 2. Saheed's effort at the end is going in. Their keeper's been outstanding, but that's what goalkeepers are paid to do, isn't it? Yeah, our problem ultimately lies in the goal scoring department, and that's something that I need to deal with, and that's something I'm in the process of addressing as we speak.
A very disappointed Steve Pitt there, reacting to his side's 1-0 defeat on the road at Wealdstone, with BBC Essex's Tom Larson-Wright, who was watching the game for us. So it's 8 league games without a win now for Braintree Town. They dropped down to 22nd in the National League table. Their last 3 points was on the 20th of September with that 3-1 win away at Eastleigh. Even more worrying perhaps is the fact they haven't scored a league goal since the 30th of September away at Aldershot. That was Che Cooper in a 1-1 draw. They're 5 games without even scoring a goal in the National League. Braintree Town. Is it too early to panic? Probably not. Plenty of time to turn things around, you would imagine, but it needs to go on a run sooner rather than later. Let's run you through some local scores from elsewhere in the county this afternoon. Chelmsford City making it 3 wins in a row in all competitions, backing up a win in midweek, and that FA Cup victory over local rivals Braintree Town. They beat Hampton and Richmond Borough by 1-0 at home. The FA Vars second round, Little Oakley 0, Harpenden 1, White Ensign 1, Great Yarmouth Town 4, Walsham the Willows 1, Benfleet 2, Saffron Walden Town 2, Marchtown United 1. We'll run you through some of the rest of the local scores at full time. It is currently 39 minutes past 6.
BBC Essex Sport.
James Patient with you on BBC Essex Sport until 8 o'clock tonight. We'll be going back to Roots Hall shortly, where Southend United trail at the break, but only just.
Con Clark, he's edged a penalty area, might shoot from distance and he'll find the corner. We talked about the dangers of Chris Con Clark. One glimpse of an opportunity and he will take it. And he scored his first league goal for the Cumbrians. And Nick Hayes, some will say he should have done better as it nestled in the back of his net. But it's Carlisle United that lead after 19 minutes. Southend United 0, Carlisle United 1. Space for Linney on the left side of the penalty area. Carlisle barely down. Linney shooting and Linney scoring. That's what he does for Carlisle United. His 15th goal of the season. As soon as Con Clark picked it up in his own half, Southend were backpedaling. And there was acres of space for Regan Linney to slot it into the bottom right corner past the hapless Nick Hayes. Southend United 0, Carlisle United 2. Out to Nathan Ralph. He's taken on Gillard, puts it across the half. Austin's there, there's a goal back for Southend United. Sam Austin punches the air. Ralph's pass across the grass. Just needed a touch from Austin and he found it for his first goal since the end of August. And Southend are on the board. Southend United 1, Carlisle United 2.
Can the Blues turn it around in the second half? They've been knocking on the door. Let's hand you back to your commentary team at Roots Hall, Paul Clark and Warren Muggleton.
BBC Essex Sport.
Thank you, James. You join us 40 seconds into the second half. A corner kick for Southend is met by the head of Ralph as it came in from the right wing far side. It's straight at the keeper. Southend absolutely flew out of the blocks. 30 seconds in, ball played over the right wing into Josh Walker. A little miscommunication between the Carlisle captain and his goalkeeper, and a shot was poked in and it came off the bottom of the goalkeeper over the byline for the corner kick. But no changes, still 2-1 Carlisle United. Southend in their dark blue shirts and shorts and white socks, playing from right to left. Goalkeeper in green, Hayes in goal, Taylor Goodliff and captain Ralph in the back three, Scott Morris on the right, Boys on the left, Miley in front of the defence, Coker and Austin in midfield, Dallas and Walker leading the line. And offside goes against Southend, and we'll restart for Carlisle, who are playing in their red, blue and white striped shirts, blue shorts and blue socks, playing from left to right. Goalkeeper in pink is Breeze. Back four of Williams, Hayden, Captain Feeney and Harper. Two sitting midfielders in Gillard and McAdam. A substitute early on with Davis played right. Williams has gone up right wing. Linney on the left, Con Clark in the middle and Kelly leading the line. Here's Con Clark, who's already scored today. He scored the first goal after 19 minutes. Regan Linney getting his 15th goal in all competitions to get the second for the visitors, but Sam Austin striking 3 minutes later. Paul Clark, former Blues player and manager, as the ball goes over the byline for a goal kick. It's good to see the early intent from Southend United.
Yeah, they did remarkably well from the kick-off and very nearly got themselves back on level terms. It was a real mix-up in the defence, but then just watching there when Nathan Ralph picked the ball up, he's just inside his own half and he's looking forward. There's not enough movement when they've got time on the ball. Like you look at Walker and Dallas, they make one run and then stand still, and the ball doesn't come, so they don't move again. You've got to keep moving. You make one run, then you make another one. If it doesn't come, stand still, spin away, let your mate come in, and keep asking questions of the defenders, because that's what they were doing the latter part of that first half. But just don't stand still. You're easy to mark when you stand still.
Andy Dallas went down under a challenge from Morgan Feeney, the captain, right side of the centre circle, far side. Walked away from it. They might have to go off for an assessment. Fourth time we've seen that in the game today for three different players. Ben Goodliff in the first half, and then a couple of times for Junior Luamba. Picked up an injury for the Cumbrians. So for the third time in the game, we'll restart with a drop ball for Carlisle defender Aaron Hayden, who plays to the right with Archie Davis, trying to burst away from Walker, which he will. I know Sam Austin, he's gone a really long way down the right wing on this near side, pokes it past Boys, who try to whip across the field, cuts it inside Boys, who jumped up to block. Brilliant roll into the middle, and Goodliff is at the near post on this near side to get it away from Con Clark, who somehow found himself over the byline already. But it will be a corner kick for the Cumbrians in front of their fans.
That's criminal. For the fullback to be able to run that far, he went past 5 players in blue shirts, and then the final one goes and sells himself at the death. Criminal.
So corner kick, which Chris Con Clark will take. 4 assists in 4 games before today, made that 5 and 5. So he provided the assist for Regan Linney in front of a packed out entirely North Bank. Clark right-footed, it will swing away from the goal, goes for the near post, and it's met though by Ben Goodliff to head it away. As far as Cameron Harper has to go backwards under the pressure of Dallas. Williams back to his keeper Gabriel Breeze, and that gets applause from the fans around us for the pressure from the front two. High kick, spins to the right, Ralph able to get something onto it. Headed forward by Gilead of Carlisle, but only as far as Southend's Goodliff. A touch from Davis, looks for Clark, but it's now picked up by Austin, and now Dallas can turn towards the middle of the pitch. Nudges it to Coker, who wants to give it to Scott Morris. Again, it was just looking for a little bit more pace, but Southend still in possession and on the front foot, lifted towards Coker, but met by Gilead. Carlisle trying to break through Kelly, but a heavy touch from the forward. Sees Cav Miley drift away from Clark and push it out to the left wing on this near side, where Sam Austin is taking on Williams, wants for the cross into the middle at the far post. There's nobody in dark blue, it bounces across everybody to the far side. Coker picking it up. I think he wanted an overlapping run from Scott Morris, but decides to nudge it forward to Walker, as it's eventually pushed out by a Carlisle who have been put on the back foot in these opening 5 minutes of the second half. It'll be Southend to throw. Scott Morris with a cross into the middle as a header from Goodliff, but it bounces to the left of goal, and it will be a goal kick. Still 2-1 to Carlisle after 50 minutes played. The first shot on goal for the home side, it just goes off target. As we said, Southend looking to break their National League attendance record tonight, with two of the biggest National League non-league teams in the country. Southend with the highest average attendance, 8,157 on average, whereas Carlisle 7,275, the nearest. Of course, the Blues make the trip to Brunton Park in the middle of March. Meanwhile, Paul Clark throwing for Southend on this near wing.
Yeah, that last attack for Blues came with the ball broke down off of Kelly up front, and I must admit that's the first one he's let go. I've been really impressed with him, possibly one of the best target men, out and out target men that I've seen come down here for the opposition for a long time. So Goodliff's really got to have his hands full.
Miley looking to bring the ball to ground and get Walker on the turn. He does get a touch in. There was a grab on the back of his shirt from Gilead, and it has been spotted by referee Michael Barlow. There will be a free kick for Southend in the middle of Carlisle territory. It's only the second time Barlow has refereed Southend in 3.5 years. And it's the first time he's ever officiated the Cumbrians. So a free kick for the Blues. As I say, midway through, just to the left of the centre circle. Harry Boyes standing over it, has his centre backs coming forward. Harry Boyes has options on the right side of the penalty area, far side. He'll look forward, and there is space for Ralph to put it into Walker! What a save that is from Gabriel Breeze. An excellently constructed set piece. Found Ralph with the volley far side of the penalty area onto the head of Walker, who put it towards the ground, but straight into Gabriel Breeze, and it remains 2-1. But Paul Clark, the biggest chance of this second half so far.
Well, huge chance, and I'm just astonished that he didn't score. He's probably headed it into the one. I mean, listen, he's obeyed all the rules. He's headed it down as a ball picked up by Clark.
Yeah, Clark gets it from Nathan Ralph, who just gave it straight to him. Here's Williams on the right wing on this near side. Linney's come across. McAdam and Davis has to go back to the keeper, and Southend recover from that moment, but Carlisle still in possession.
Yeah, so as I say, he's headed it in probably the one place that gives the goalkeeper a chance down at his feet.
It was straight where the keeper would want it. Scott Morris is looping pass down the right wing, gets a fizzing deflection, but Clark took a slip and is unable to get there for the home side. Nathan Ralph looping it this time down the middle, and Davis has to head it back to his keeper. Apologies for any language you might have heard. And Austin able to pick this up into Miley, who's bursting down the left wing on this near side. Harry Boyes cuts inside. There's a back heel into Austin, who made an overlapping run. Will put a cross into the middle, but it's met by Feeney. His clearing header mixed up by Miley, edge of the penalty area. Scott Morris trying to turn away and make some room for himself. Has Coker behind him. Coker threading through to Dallas, will shoot first time, but it took a touch off of the defender Hayden, and it bounces on top of the Frank Walton stand. It'll be a corner kick for Southend, far side, still 2-1, but Southend pressing.
And there it is, it's just that little ball down the side of the striker that allows him to let it run across his body, and then he can either take the defender on, or as Dallas did get the shot away, and it requires the defender to be diligent in his work, which he was that time, but you still get the second prize of winning the corner. It's all about turning defenders around.
So corner kick, this time it will be Ollie Coker to take with his right foot. It'll swing away from the goal, goes there was a Scott Morris, but it loops over the crossbar. Clever idea, went at torso height to meet Scott Morris in the middle of the penalty area, but he couldn't guide his header under the crossbar. Still 2-1.
Yeah, it was a well-worked corner, pulled away, and Coker knew exactly where he was hitting it and struck the delivery perfectly. It probably goes in last year for Scott Morris.
Scott Morris, only 3 goals for him in 15 games in all competitions. Last scored the second in a 3-0 win over Halifax Town. Of course, a lot of the goals this season for Southend have come from the forwards, which I suppose is a sign of
kind of refreshing, isn't it?
It is refreshing. Here's one of them on the charge now. Dallas, he will get their header. Davis, he's gone down in the penalty area. What's the referee going to say here? I think he said free kick right on the edge of the penalty area. From my look, Paul Clark, he had a nudge in the back from Archie Davis. I thought that was just inside the penalty area, and the fans around us on their feet furious. Paul Clark.
I thought it was in the box, plain and simple. I thought it was in the box. The contact was in the box. Stand to be proved wrong. It certainly weren't that far outside the box.
And Kevin Mayer and Mark Bentley and Darren Curry down in front of us having words with Dan Blades, the 4th official. Hands in the air from Southend fans around us, but still a set piece opportunity for Southend. Right side of the right side of the penalty area. Coker and boys standing over this one. We saw Coker shoot directly from a free kick in the first half.
We're just going to have a look at the goalkeeper starting position.
Will be Coker again.
Who's that standing on the near post? I can't see. Is it?
That's Ben Goodliff.
Ben Goodliff, yeah, he'll probably come away from there. But, whether they're bright enough to pick him out for any second ball, but it's always that sneaky one at the near post.
Coker will shoot. It takes deflection away from the penalty area from the wall of Carlisle, and the foul goes against Harry Boyes as Josh Williams looks to break away at pace, and the free kick goes for Carlisle. Set piece opportunity goes awry. 2-1 still to Carlisle.
Yeah, and that was a good foul, because as William picks that up, he had Con Clark and Linney both breaking away from him, so if he'd got away, he had one man either side, and they're pretty potent strikers.
Well, certainly one to ask Kevin Mayer about in that post-match reaction interview, which we will do, and we'll try to get that to you before we finish at 8 o'clock tonight. Of course, it'll be on the club feed. I'll be very interested to hear what he has to say about that. Southend United 1, Carlisle United 2 in this mega National League clash at Roots Hall on BBC Essex on all frequencies. Walker trying to win possession back to Southend, and a big tackle from Miley. Took a bit of a risk when he did it, and an equally risky one from Gillard as he took it away from Andy Dallas as Southend looked to get on the break from their own half. And Carlisle's Con Clark trying to nudge away from Taylor. Gets a 1-2 from Kelly, and now a foul goes against Harry Taylor, and he had managed to get away from him quite brilliantly.
Absolutely brilliant, and that's all Taylor had left. Was it Taylor just hoiked him back? It's a brilliant movement from him again.
Substitution to come, and well, quite extraordinary this. The man who came on to replace Junior Luamba, Archie Davis, is coming off 13 minutes into the second half to be replaced by another right back in Jack Ellis. And you think, I suppose, Paul, we did say it at the end of that first half, this wasn't his day today under the pressure of Southend.
Yeah, you made the point a couple of times, he was struggling when he came on, so...
And Mark Hughes has responded.
As far as I'm concerned, if it's not happening for anybody, you've got replacements, why stick with it?
So we'll have a free kick for Carlisle midway through Southend's half.
He ain't going to try
10 metres from the left wing. Well, we've seen stranger things. Con Clark and Harper standing over this one. Con Clark stepping up, and it's a dummy. Harper with the left-footed cross, but straight onto the foot of Scott Morris. McAdams looks to lift this, but met by Scott Morris again, and Sam Austin will be there first to hook the ball away, and that one doesn't go the way Carlisle United wanted. Still one goal between the sides at Roots Hall on BBC Essex.
Yeah, it was pretty hopeless, to be honest. It would have been better if Con Clark had the lash at it.
Player's gone down. Con Clark went down momentarily. I think he thought he might have a bit more time from the throw-in. He just seems to be the slower pace. As Carlisle moved this from left to right towards this near wing. Ralph has given a shove in the back to Harvey McAdam, pretty much in front of the assistant referee, James Hurst. And it'll be another free kick for Carlisle, this time 15 yards from the goal line, and another free kick.
But right in the fourth official, I can't see there was an awful lot to moan about there. It looked pretty blatant, didn't it?
There's been subtler as we approach the hour mark here on BBC Essex. So Con Clark and Harper standing over this one again. Two left-footed players. The Con Clark positioned as if to put this in right-footed. Only Josh Williams is knocked forward. This time Con Clark to take, aims for the far post, it drifts across a couple of Southend players but takes a touch off of a man in dark blue.
Referee says it didn't.
Yeah, they didn't. I think Regan Linney, it must have been, and that gets an applause from the fans. And Southend will be able to play the ball out from deep in their own half on the far side.
I'll tell you what, it's just as well nobody in a red and blue shirt did go and attack it, because it was a wicked ball with pace on it. That's asking questions of the goalkeeper, thanks.
It was a bit of a whipped throw back to him from Harry Taylor, and Hayes gives it back to the number 16, who puts a pass down the right wing, and it eventually forced out by Aaron Hayden.
Yeah, I'm not sure Nick Hayes will be thanking him for that ball. No. Cope with it well.
Harry Taylor, the only player to start every game and play every minute this season now for the Blues. There was a time when it was Colin and Ndengandi and Ben Goodliffe. Colin and Ndengandi, of course, waiting for his 100th appearance. As the ball is played from right to left, Ralph with a sweeping pass out to Harry Boyes, who wants to take on the substitute in Ellis, see what he's like. He will get a ball into the middle, but that's a bit of fizz to get to Austin, and it's cleared by Carlisle. Kelly picking it up into Con Clark. Always looking to twist and turn away, but this time a bit too slow, and Boyes and Ralph do put it out. It ends up being a throw-in. There's a bit of a wry smile on the face of Chris Con Clark.
Yeah, it's just Southend players coming back from attacking that caught him out. To credit to the other two for holding him up while they got back. Oh, that slipped out of his hand as well.
Ellis's throw met by the head of Southend's Miley. Jack Ellis actually scored in the 5-0 win for Carlisle against Braintree Town on Bank Holiday Monday. Linney back to Hayden, who loops it forward but met by Southend's Taylor. It's Crop Morris brings it under control. Coker lifting it to Dallas but won't be able to keep it in near the halfway line. There'll be a throw in for the Cumbrians, and here comes substitutes for Southend. And it's Keenan Appiah-Fawson coming on in place of Sam Austin, the scorer of the goal for Southend, who gets people on their feet to give him a round of applause.
My one concern, and we know what Appiah-Fawson like, is dogged. Just don't want to see him just spend the entire time just running around chasing after things all the time. He's got to add a little bit of creativity. If he just goes chasing all over the place, it will leave holes that we know Con Clark in particular.
Well, this is what I was going to. Is he someone then that Kevin Mayer brings on to man mark for Chris Con Clark?
I don't think he's got the discipline.
Meanwhile, here comes a break down the right wing. This is a really good one as well from Andy Dallas. He'll whip a ball into the middle. There's a bit of hesitation. It'll fall to Ollie Coker, and it comes off of Jack Ellis and spins across the byline. What a path opened up for Andy Dallas down the right wing. He managed to play the cross in. There was confusion in the Carlisle ranks, and Coker controlled on the chest, left-footed shot, and comes off the Carlisle defence. And it is a corner kick though. But a good.
Thought we had nobody with pace. That was a great run from Dallas down that side.
Corner kick played towards the near post. I mean, Cav Miley was still doing his shoelaces up. The clearance from Harper will go back to Coker, and Taylor has to go back to Nick Hayes. Straight down the middle. Ralph has stayed up. He'll head it forwards. Aaron Harper under pressure from Coker, and Walker's helped them win it back. Southend inside the Carlisle final third. Boyes into Coker, able to turn towards the middle of the field. Appiah-Fawson's first touch, but he'll get under pressure from Regan Linney, who takes it off him, but will concede the throw-in. Let's get the applause of Mark Hughes. But Apaya Forson getting an early introduction to Regan Linney's presence. Good lift to Taylor. Into 65 minutes of play. All thumbs on edge of seats, eyes wide open. Race is pulsating at Roots Hall. Played across field left again into Boys. Overlapping run from Nathan Ralph. First time cross. But for the header, Scott Morris! Cleared off the line. Again, Scott Morris has to wait for his goal. Coker with the shot. The pinballs again. Apaya Forson getting in there. He's gone down in the penalty area. But got against Hayden. But the referee says nothing given. Scott Morris, point blank. It's headed forward. Andy Dallas is shooting. It goes wide, but the offside flag's gone up anyway. Southend perilously close to an equaliser there with Scott Morris with the header at the far post, put on a plate by Nathan Ralph. Kevin Mayer gets the crowd going. Is that the wave of momentum for Southend to get themselves level?
So I think it was wonderful defending from Feeney there as that ball was crossed to the far post. Gus Scott Morris must think he scored. He's done everything right, headed it back the way it's come from into the space, heads it down. But credit to Feeney, I think it was Feeney, read it beautifully, went round behind his own goalkeeper and cleared it off the line. Great defending.
Morgan Feeney enjoying the first appearance of his career against Southend United. But no clean sheet, still 2-1. But my goodness, how close Southend came there to an equaliser. Josh Walker loses the ball, and Carlisle able to sweep up through Cameron Harper back to their keeper, Gabriel Breeze. Carlisle starting the day top of the table in the National League, starting this game 4th following wins for Boreham Wood, Scunthorpe United and Rochdale. But right now back on the top of the table. Southend will not lose 7th today, whatever happens. But they will want and they'll feel with what they're doing right now that they should take something from this game at Roots Hall. Boys with a throw-in on this near wing from right to left. Was met by Ellis, although it's brought down by Southend. Coker out to Taylor. Under pressure from Conclark, this time gives him the slip. There's a first in the game for you. Ralph lifting it down the left wing. Ellis takes under control, but Dallas is there again, but gets blocked out by men in red and blue and white. And Carlisle want to counter. Gilead out to the left, where Harper gets it out of his feet. But won't go over the halfway line. Southend quickly back into their shape. But Gilead has found a pocket between Coker and Apaya Forson. He'll thread it into Kelly. He's into the penalty area. There's a minor shove in the back from Ben Goodliff. He wanted to put him off. Referees might have looked differently at that one, but it's picked up by Hayes.
It would have done if Kelly had gone to the ground. Honest striker there, stayed on his feet to try to get on the end of it. It's a good run, decent ball for him, but Ben Goodliff got away with one there.
Georgie Kelly and Carlisle close to having their first shot on goal of this second half. Georgie Kelly joining in February 2024, won the EFL trophy at Rotherham United in 2022.
Yeah, you wouldn't have bet on that stat halfway through the first half, would you? It'd take them this long to get a shot in the second half.
Well, they haven't had one yet, still. Clock is still counting.
Brilliant, son.
Kelly going back to Ellis and Williams. But a heavy touch leaves Nathan Ralph picking up Boys, infield to Coker, and next Southend can get over the halfway line. Scott Morris screaming for it on the right side, but it's a clever ball from Coker to the left wing on this near side for Boys. Decides to cut inside Ellis, put a cross into the middle. Walker's there with the header, but it just got put off and it's cleared away by Conclark. Kelly trying to turn away and get Carlisle moving again. Now there's a bit of pace on here from Williams and Ralph, and Williams has beaten him. They want to call for offside, but Williams is still moving. Hayes with this one, and he's managed to put him off. Williams' shot smacks against the scoreboard in the North Bank, and Southend survive a huge scare there. Nathan Ralph taking off his face mark can wipe a bit of sweat from the brow. Still Southend 1, Carlisle United 2, and there, Paul Clark, is your first shot of the second half for the visitors.
Yeah, it wasn't even close as a foot race, was it? He absolutely skinned Nathan Ralph and left him for dead. And full credit to Nick Hayes, because he just came out and made himself big and went, go on then, beat me. Instead of just selling himself, he'd gone to ground early. Williams lifts it over him or slides it past him, but he just was good enough to hold him off. He's been magnificent as a target man. I mean, even that attack, that previous attack that went up to Kelly, held it in nice and tight, set it back, and then it's the ball through. Superb for them.
In what is a mixture of ages, he's one of the more experienced players, Georgie Kelly here. Foul given away by Nathan Ralph in the centre circle inside Carlisle United's half.
Referee calling for the physio, and Kelly going, no, sir, I don't want you coming off. I don't want to come off. And Kelly wins that one.
20 minutes to go. Southend United 1, Carlisle United 2 here on BBC Essex Sport on all frequencies. Make sure you stay with us until 8 o'clock. Free kick from Hayden. He's aimed towards the left side of the penalty area and only onto the head of Scott Morris, and Mark Hughes just holds his hands into the air almost in disbelief at how his side have not made anything out of that set piece.
Yeah, wasn't very happy, was he?
Not at all. Boys whipping this in. He will find the feet of Walker, but his touch is heavy and it's met by Morgan Feeney to put it out for a throw. We should mention, of course, Mark Hughes coming into just on 37 games with Carlisle. He's won 18 of them. Formerly Manchester United player, 2 Premier Leagues, 3 FA Cups, 1 League Cup, 3 Charity Shields, 1 European Cup Winners' Cup. And today is his 730th managerial game in a career from the sidelines where he's never won a title as a manager. He's looking to change that with Carlisle. Meanwhile, cross comes in for Southend. It was deep from Miley, looking for good lift, but was met by Carlisle. And Gilly wants to get them moving down this left wing, you know, but he will not be aware of the pace of Keenan Appiah-Forson, who swept across, and he gets the round of applause there.
Yeah, that's what he's good at. That dogged work like that.
Alex Gilly, someone that we haven't mentioned much, joined on loan from Shrewsbury in September. Second spell with Carlisle, 379 English Football League appearances to his name. But it's come under a bit of pressure, with Dallas sitting a bit deeper now, trying to drag him out of position. Ball played down the left wing, just stays in as Carlisle clear it away. Oh, and that's given away by Ellis. Didn't spot Dallas coming in behind him to win it back for Southend. Miley to Taylor, and it's played from left to right into Scott Morris. Southend looking to get on the attack again. Scott Morris wants options, decides to play it from right to left. Boys, edge of the penalty area left side. He'll make room to whip across into the middle. Takes a touch from the captain Feeney, a fierce header to get it away, only as far as Walker. But now Boys, he'll shoot. It takes a deflection. That might bounce kindly to Coker, but Williams is there to clear it away. But Southend will have a throw in a good area. And nice work from Harry Boyce.
Yeah, and again, getting around the edge of the box, taking the opportunities for shooting. All right, it doesn't come to a goal or whatever, but you win a throw in a dangerous area. That's no bad thing.
Boyce tries to whip a cross in, hugging the left wing, 10 yards out from the byline. He'll get another throw. Nathan Ralph coming up to support him this time. Miley with room to turn and cross, and it's straight to the keeper on the edge of the 6-yard box. No one else in dark blue around him. Breeze
Look the other side,
looking to make this ball fly through the wind like a cool breeze, but it's met down ahead of Taylor, and Con Clark left frustrated as he's easily dealt with by Harry Taylor and Cav Miley.
They dealt with it particularly well as well. Headed it into the safe area where he knew his teammate was going to be favourite to win it.
Now the kick from Nick Hayes has fallen to Josh Walker, right wing, far side, able to turn away from 1 tackle and 2 into the penalty area. Still going here, Josh Walker tries to put the cross in but won't come off. Appiah-Forson sneaking in to get to Regan Linney, but has it taken away. Scott Morris will try and take it off him now, and he will. That gets a huge applause from the home fans. Taylor, Scott Morris, Southend in possession inside Carlisle's half. Appiah-Forson trying to break away from the right wing, forms his triangle with Taylor. Dallas in field, back to Taylor, had the overlapping run from Scott Morris and will now give it to him. Con Clark and Harper trying to block him out, and the cross loses the fizz and it's cleared away by McGowan.
I think Linney might have had a little tweak.
He's been very quiet in this second half, and he looks like he's holding the back of his right leg. And Southend are in possession, and they'll be happy to keep hold of that, try and create something. Scott Morris has lots of space, and the pass is found by Goodliff. Scott Morris in front of the west stand.
Move.
Taylor.
Move.
That's what Paul Clark's calling for. They need movement around the ball. Appiah-Forson away from Harper, still hugging that right wing far side. Dallas coming into him, but has to go the long way round. Harper and McAdam able to help clear. His clearance as far as Scott Morris. Con Clark loses it. Dallas is shooting, but a foul has been given by the referee against Scott Morris on Con Clark, edge of Carlisle's own penalty area. So free kick for the visitors. Still Southend 1, Carlisle 2, with 16 or so minutes of normal time.
Keeper's gone down. The obligatory treatment for the goalkeeper.
Down he goes.
Do we have to have this every week? It gets a bit tedious now, doesn't it?
And then shake of the head from Darren Curry personifies that.
Yeah. Make him go off. Make him go off like everybody else has to go off. Won't do it then. Even if you give the gloves to someone else and say, right, you go and goal while he's off. Rush goalies.
What a game that would be. Southend United with Carlisle United here on BBC Essex. Southend 2-1 down. If you're just joining us on BBC Essex, Warren Muggleson and Paul Clark.
Yeah, just on that last attack, the reason I'm saying move, got the ball in sort of the right channel, and I'm looking at Josh Walker, and he's in the D, and he's just standing there. And you think, well, run short, spin away, go out and let someone else come in, take a defender away, either take him towards the ball or spin him away from it. If he stands still, then you spin into the space yourself. Now you're away from the defender. But just standing still doesn't give the man on the ball any options and doesn't cause the defender any problems.
Kevin Mayer sharing his words of wisdom with his teammates as Mark Hughes is. Kevin Mayer, of course, saying we're ready for the challenge before this week. His 208th game as Southend United head coach, 88 of them won, 53 drawn, 66 lost. The players make their way back out onto the pitch. Well, goalkeeper's back up on his feet. How's about that? And we'll restart with the free kick for Carlisle outside the penalty area, far side of the D.
I guess who's going to take the free
Carlisle
kick?
2.
That severely injured goalkeeper will take it.
There he is. Arsenal have equalised against Sunderland. They did that 9 minutes into the second half at the Stadium of Light, 1-1. There is one more Premier League game to come this evening between Chelsea and Wolves. Of course, with Middlesbrough manager Rob Edwards given permission to talk to the Premier League side. At 8 o'clock kickoff, we'll have commentary on BBC Radio 5 Live. Of course, you can listen to that once we're done on BBC Essex at 8 o'clock. Scott Morris attempted a drilled ball towards Ollie Coker, I suspect, on the edge of the centre circle, but it took a deflection off of Cameron Harper, and it will be a throw-in. Jack Bridge being readied to come into the game. The score of the equaliser in midweek. Scott Morris had a bit of power on it, but I think he wanted to put that crossfield to Harry Boyes.
Yeah, exactly.
And it
just shanked it. Yeah.
A few short.
Yeah,
that's the golfing term, Boy, isn't it?
Came out the socket.
Breeze with the kick from the goal. Southend's Ralph meeting it with the header. Feeney getting it into the feet of Southend's Miley, but McAdam trying to turn away for Carlisle. He's muscled off it by Andy Dallas, and he was playing the foul. He would have played the advantage, I suspect, but Southend want to get on with it. Nathan Ralph has spotted Harry Boyes up there. He's got an option in Walker. It's played into the penalty area. It takes a couple of bounces. Walker will keep it alive, but it is cleared away by Carlisle. Right idea, Paul, for Southend. They just didn't have the quality in the end.
Claiming handball against Kelly there, but Blues win possession and recycle it again.
They're back to where they were. Harry Boyes on this near wing, and an offside flag goes up against him.
Wow.
Fourth offside of the game against Southend United, who are preparing 3 changes to come into the game. The first one is on this near side. Harry Boyes coming off, and he'll be replaced by Jack Bridge. These changes come in with 78 minutes on the clock. Of course, we saw a myriad of changes in midweek at Woking, Paul, and it's going to be the same again here with 12 minutes left.
Be interesting that Hopper for Walker. Walker's had a few chances in that second half, hasn't managed to bury them. It's a really good chance now for Tom Hopper to win over some of the critics, and gives his all every time he plays. Hasn't come off for him in a goal scoring terms as of yet. So as I say, a real good chance for him to win everybody over.
Tom Hopper's record: 1 win, 2 draws and 2 losses against Carlisle United. Started for Colchester United in a 0-0 draw against the Cumbrians back in October 2024.
Parallon for Austin.
I believe that was Parallon for Coker, actually.
Coker,
because Pyer Forson replaced him. Pyer Forson heading forward down the right wing on the far side. As I say, just under 11 minutes to go. Southend United 1, Carlisle United 2. You just feel, Paul, like there's something else left to happen in this game. And however much stoppage time we get, As Carlisle will put a throw in on the far wing. Regan Linney has it taken off him by Scott Morris. Cav Miley looking to burst out the blocks and straight into the feet of Jack Bridge. Ellis hasn't beaten him to it. Parallon wants it played forward and he'll get it. He's left side of the penalty area along the goal line, trying to get through, but this time McAdam stops him in his tracks and Carlisle look to break. Williams has had the only shot of this second half and now he's breaking forward. He wants to take on Nathan Ralph. He's done it before. He'll thread it into middle looking for Georgie Kelly, but Harry Taylor reading that for Southend. He gets it back and gets it into Bridge, and now if Bridge can have a little run, he knows the space to run into. Hopper in front of him as well. Might have taken it too far now with McAdam. He's bundled into him and actually wins the free kick. That's brilliant work from Jack Bridge.
Well, it is, seeing as nobody actually touched him. He did really well because Williams was just eating up the ground, chasing him. He was never going to get away from both of them. But as you say, won himself the free kick. Good defending from Harry Taylor again at the other end. Came right the way across to negate that attack from Williams and Kelly.
Jack Bridge, you suspect a bit of deja vu, playing against men in blue, red and white, having spent the 2019-20 season up in the northwest. 36 appearances, 3 goals. He puts the free kick in. Breeze punching it away. He'll go as far as Taylor, who's edge of the centre circle inside Southend, inside Carlisle's half. Parallon putting the cross in and a player has gone down inside the penalty area for Carlisle United, and you can hear the fury echoing its way round Roots Hall. And that looked like Feeney who went down holding the back of his head, Paul Clark. And it's just set pieces.
Yeah, and listen, them's the rules. They don't like it, they've got to change the rules. Southend do it as well. Like I said, it goes round. I blame everybody for doing it and nobody for doing it. But it's like the holding in around the penalty areas. The officials have got the answer. Just, you know, when players go down, I say the officials, the people in power have got the answer. Change the rules.
Attendance has been announced. Wild treatment is given to Morgan Feeney. Attendance tonight at Roots Hall, 8,847 with 584 Carlisle fans. So certainly the biggest crowd we've seen at a National League game this season, but not Southend's National League attendance record.
My one concern in this is that people do get used to it and players going down and holding their heads and the referee seeing it too much, and then you get that one occasion where it really is serious and a referee goes, oh, I'm not going to give that because you've been doing it all game, and it's the serious one that gets missed. That would be my one concern, but I would blame players for that, for abusing what's there. It's there, those rules are there to protect them, don't abuse them.
Very interesting point to be discussed as well. Don't forget James is on the airways until 8 o'clock. 81333 on text, 080032133 on WhatsApp, also on X at BBC Essex Sport. Meanwhile, Morgan Feeney has had to make his way off the pitch. 4th time we've seen that in the game today. And we'll restart with a drop ball for Southend. Scott Morris to whip this into the penalty area, but doesn't beat Hayden. His clearance as far as Southend's Miley. Out to the left wing on this near side. Bridge taking on Con Clark. The drift in field, takes a touch, it might fall to Parallon, wants to make room for himself but can't get the shot away, goes back to Miley, just crowded out of the penalty area there. Parallon eyes wide looking to get himself another goal. Bridge gets a kind deflection. Parallon could thread it into Bridge. He had a bit of space in there between the defensive lines, but it goes back to Taylor. Miley was still on the near wing, out to Parallon, drifts inside into the penalty area. He wants to get on that right foot and shoot. It takes a deflection off the bottom of Josh Williams, who's bouncing towards the bottom left corner, and it's gathered up by the goalkeeper Breeze. Still 2-1.
He's getting slaughtered by Ben Goodliffe, who's saying I'm on free at the back post of the ball. Thought it was going to get knocked in behind, but yeah, I disagree slightly. You say Parallon couldn't get the shot away. I'd say he didn't get the shot away. I thought he had the opportunity to get the shot that first time and turned away from it. Well
Ball
played.
met by Kelly on the chest and wins the foul off of Miley. This is inside Southend's half, near side of the D.
Does stick
15 metres away from the byline, yeah. It was deftest of touch from Georgie Kelly. Last scored actually a penalty in the 4-2 win over Forest Green Rovers on the 18th of October. So 5th foul given away in the second half by Southend. Free kick which only Chris Con Clark is standing over. One-man wall of Jack Bridge in front of him. 35 yards, 40 from the goal line. Plenty of options to aim at. Tries to go for it himself, but the referee had already blown the whistle for a foul against Harry Taylor, and it'll be a restart for Nick Hayes to kick away.
I'll tell you what, he did well to spot that one, because Con Clark hit it, went straight through the goalkeeper, he caught it, and he managed to spot a foul while the ball was in the air, and it was only in the air for a split second.
And he'd gone for it. Ball is lifted towards Andy Dallas, but Cameron Harper meeting it with a header. Pia Forson there to follow up. Back flick into Dallas. He's right side of the penalty area. Really clever. Dallas attempted a shot actually, but it comes off of Harper. Oh, off Harper. Well, no, says the assistant referee. That's the curse of the commentator for you. Dallas's scuffed shot over the byline, and it will be a goal kick for Carlisle.
Yeah, back to the golfing analogies. Did he take a divot? I think he's just stubbed his toe into the ground and turned his ankle as he got the shot. He's hobbling away a little bit.
Well, either way, it had the look of a bunker shot. Last 5 minutes of normal time. Southend United 1, Carlisle United 2 here on BBC Essex. Don't forget, Sport Extra on Monday, 6 till 7, and the Fans Football phone-in with Glenn Pennyfather on the 14th of November. Southend will travel to Yeovil Town. And don't forget, actually, we're back on Tuesday night for EFL Trophy action. Colchester United playing in that. I'll be heading up to Brightlingsea region against Heybridge Swifts and Isthmian North. Looking forward to that. Jack Bridge down the left wing on this near side, taking on Josh Williams. Now has an overlap from Parallon, and he'll get beyond Williams. He's going along the byline. Brilliant run from Parallon. He'll get the shot away. Takes a deflection off of Finney again. Goodliff heads this back into the penalty area as far as Parallon into a Pia Forson. Can't get the shot away on the bounce, and Carlisle will eventually get it back to Con Clark. He wants to turn away and get it out to Linney, and now there's a chance for them to counter. We said Linney had been quiet in this game. Here he goes on the charge on the far wing, taking on a Pia Forson. He'll put in a shot, left-footed, and it's straight down the throat of Nick Hayes. And that is the second shot of the second half, and it's straight for Nick Hayes. Still 2-1.
Yeah, brilliant from Parallon at the other end. Did well to run along the byline and then get his shot at goal. Bridge breaks down the left wing this time, taking on Williams.
Williams, he's having rings run round him at the moment by the substitutes. Bridge taking him on. He's taking him to 5 yards away from the byline. Back to Miley. We're near side of the penalty area. Into Parallon. Tries to thread it into Miley. A little bit too clever though. McAdam able to intercept for Carlisle. Con Clark. That flick to McAdam. Out of his feet, 1-2. Really clever, and McAdam can get running towards the edge of the centre circle. I'm hard pushed to think of a misplaced pass from Con Clark today.
It's the imagination on the pass as well.
It was just a little drag back, and then out of his feet.
Outside of foot, little flick around the and just get your mate to run onto it.
Although the goal kick from Breeze is straight to Taylor, and Southend can get back into possession. 3 minutes of normal time left. Do not move.
That little pass, pretty much every player could play that pass, but only he could see it in the first place.
A Pia Forson accelerating away from McAdam. He might get across, and it's taken the deflection. It's still inside the penalty area, and eventually it's cleared away by Hayden. But there's a little bit of wind again in the momentum of Southend United's attack. And Scott Morris with the ball in his hands for the throw-in from the far side in front of the west stand. Might be a substitution coming for Carlisle, 2 of them perhaps. Played short from the throw-in. Scott Morris wants to whip this cross in. Goodliff waits for it. He does meet the header, but he puts it across the 6-yard line. Still alive for Southend. Taylor trying to get it to Parallon. Has to win it back to get away from Williams, and Taylor will, I thought he might go all the way back to Hayes, but decides to turn and go to Pia Forson.
He was playing them all on his own then, wasn't he? He went on the attack, didn't get that, played a 1-2, didn't get that, went back and won it, started the next attack.
Miley to this near side. Ralph to Bridge. Taking on Ellis again. Into Parallon, who ran to the ball. Away from Con Clark. He strips over Ellis. Parallon still with the ball. And this near side of the penalty area. Bridge puts it across to Miley. Just away from the centre of the pitch again. Into Ralph. He'll make room to whip across into the middle. This one met by Ellis. Thumped away. It gets an applause from Kevin Mayer and Darren Curry. There'll be a throw into Southend. Ball is bounced. It comes to Dallas. Might have come off the inside of his arm, but referee has said no, and Southend allowed to play on, but cut out by Con Clark. They want to say that it's gone over the line, but the assistant referee, Robert Evans, says no. And now it's fallen to Georgie Kelly. Linney switch wings to this right hand side on this near wing, but Taylor, huge tackle to win it off of the top scorer in domestic football in England. And he actually goes down, Taylor. I think maybe Linney might have taken a little nibble. It's Miley, I should say, beg your pardon. Meanwhile, the attack continues. Scott Morris into the middle, looks for Hopper, but cleared away by Hayden. McAdam coming away for Carlisle. 2 substitutes waiting to come on for the Cumbrians. They've only made 2 so far in the game. Southend have made 4.
Got to go with him.
Into the last 35 seconds of normal time. And Carlisle looked to make a move down the far wing, going from left to right, but have been forced all the way back to their keeper.
How many Harry Taylors are there?
And Mark Hughes furious at that. Mark Hughes absolutely furious that they've let that go to waste. And Southend went it back through Goodliffe. Hopper nodding it back to Miley inside the centre circle, out to the right where Scott Morris is. He drifts in field, finds Parallon, out of his feet into Dallas, edge of the penalty area, back to Parallon, will shoot first time, takes a deflection inside the penalty area off of Feeney. Ball is cleared away on the bounce. 7 minutes of stoppage time to play. Game far from over here at Roots Hall, still 2-1 against Southend. Bridge up against Williams, dancing around the ball. Cross is played in, but it again is met by the Carlisle defence. Ball bounces a couple of times and will come to Con Clark, but Parallon working to get back to defend against him. But it's played across and an overlapping run from Regan Linney. He's going to try and shoot, but a big save from Nick Hayes at his near post. Carlisle have been sparse on the counter today in the second half. Brilliant in the first half. For the first time we've seen Con Clark and Linney combine to create a shooting chance at the near post, but Nick Hayes with a gigantic left hand to stop it from going in. Corner to Carlisle.
Right, first things first. Harry Taylor, absolutely magnificent. I think there's 3 of them out there. Then great save from Hayes, because it's a good shot, a decent height, yes, but it took a strong left arm. But again, Con Clark, the little run, then the foot on just to stop everybody, and then move it again. Brilliant play.
1 minute of this 7 stoppage already played. Still Southend 1, Carlisle United 2. The clock against Southend. Regan Linney's gone down on the right side of the penalty area with Cav Miley nearest to him, holding his ankle, and Miley just looking dumbfounded. It looks very theatrical, and Kevin Mayer making that point to the 4th official. Still waiting to play the corner kick. And Linney back up.
And when they do take it, it won't go very far.
An extended conversation with referee Michael Barlow. And Linney, well, he had been limping before. I suspect, based on this evidence, it might be more theatrics again. Couple of words from Mark Hughes and Kevin Mayer to Andy Dallas and Carlisle's Jack Ellis and Morgan Feeney. And I suspect, as Paul Clark says, with Georgie Kelly and Chris Con Clark standing over the ball on the right corner on this near side in front of their travelling fans, it won't go very far. And it doesn't. Kelly happy to muscle this in the corner. Bridge trying to win it off him and actually gets the throw in for Southend. And they can work this out. 2-1 down. 4.5 minutes left to play. Substitutions coming for Carlisle United. First substitution will be Armstrong coming on. And off in his place. I thought it was Chris Con Clark's number that I'd seen. So it is Chris Con Clark and Regan Linney coming off in the 93rd minute. And on in their place are Josh Grant and Luke Armstrong. And you suspect that it will be a change of shape. And this might be a case of shutting up shop from Carlisle United.
Yeah, I don't think taking those 2 off could in any way be deemed a positive action from Mark Hughes, but if it goes on to secure the game for them, or one of them goes and nicks a goal for you.
Oh, Ben Goodliffe has been a bit light with the ball. It's been won by Kelly. McAdam putting the cross into the middle. It comes off the head of Kelly. Hayes hasn't come to collect it, but Goodliffe there for Southend to sweep up from his mistake. Clears the ball downfield. Hopper's gone down against Jack Ellis. He'll go into the book, the 3rd player for the visitors to do so. And a free kick opportunity for Southend. Hopper, he just bundled straight into him.
Yeah,
it's played quickly. Parallon out to the left wing on this near side, into Bridge. Parallon making an overlapping run, but will go to Miley from the edge of the penalty area, across into the middle, looks at Hopper's head, But again, it's met by Hayden of Carlisle. Only clear it as far as the edge of their own final third. Southend hammering on the door, looking to find an equaliser. They are 2-1 down at Roots Hall. Jack Bridge pokes a Parallon, trying to get round Ellis. He's gone down in the penalty area. Referee waves his hand straight away, says no penalty, as he went down under the challenge of Jack Ellis. And Carlisle looking to come up the other end through Josh Williams, but Taylor staying with him. Ball goes out inside Southend's half, and it will be a throw-in. Paul Clark.
I just think he knocked it by him, and then as they both turned, I think he's just gone over. Don't think it was anything in it.
Kevin Mayer urging for things to hurry up as we approach the 95th minute. Carlisle know they're inching closer to returning to the top of the National League, and Southend's hopes of taking something from this game being dashed as these seconds count on the clock on the North Bank. Georgie Kelly winning the ball for Carlisle. Goes over in a tumble under Bridge, but his clearance as far as Carlisle's Ellis. We're into Southend's final third. Ellis going a long way. He's on the edge of the penalty area, and he's given another free kick in a very dangerous area. This one right on the edge of the penalty area, on the near side. He went through a narrow corridor of Southend players, and referee Michael Barlow gives a free kick and doesn't point to the penalty spot, Paul Clark.
Yeah, it was a great feat again from Ellis. A really tight channel that he was trying to run through, almost along the edge of the penalty area, along the white line. And there'll probably be down that end the Carlisle supporters claiming just as much that he was in the penalty area. I thought the earlier one for Southend was much more obvious than that though. But again, we could be wrong. See it once.
1 minute left of stoppage time. Southend a goal down. And they've worked so hard in the second half to try and take something. McAdam and Kelly and Williams playing it short in the corner on this near wing. Bridge doing his best to win the ball back, as does Miley. It goes back to Kelly, and there is a offside against Carlisle. Don't see many of those given in those scenarios. Hayes wants to get on with this one. Less than 30 seconds left. Is there one more chance for Southend United? Long kick is met by Hayden. His header will bounce in the middle. Armstrong picks it up and will run straight at the defence. Drifts towards this near wing into Williams. Trying to get beyond Taylor. He'll go into the corner. Taylor wins it back, but straight onto it was Armstrong, wearing a bun of blonde hair. We ticked over 97 minutes. Foul goes against Carlisle. So another free kick for Southend. But all they can do is just get it up. Get the ball up there. As the fans around us roar encouragement. Hopper climbing and winning the ball. Gets it to Dallas. They want to get it down this left wing again, but Dallas nudges it forward. He might win the ball back off of Ellis. He's muscling forwards, and he has won a free kick for Southend. I thought he might have given it away with a heavy touch, but some persistent, dogged work from Andy Dallas gives Southend one more chance, and Nick Hayes is coming up as the fireworks